Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
We told you we'd be back, and here we are. We are back here at Vidane TV Showtime. Paul Strickland Jr. here, up in the production trailer. We're pretty much sharing the production trailer with the commentary team. Tim Terry, the legend in his own right, joining me in the commentary booth here for the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway race number 4 on the season. The Rent-A-Racecar 149, running the old COT Cup cars here at Talladega SuperSpeedway. Tim, we're doing good so far. Just saw a great race, the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Speedway Special Events, the SummerSlam Part D. Great race there, and a couple of those guys that ran that race running this race here tonight.
Yeah, we got some of the NEPS guys that are running this as well, and of course the regulars from the Vidane Super Speedway Series, SIM500, kind of a cornucopia of talent throughout, and we're getting ready to see some great racing here. Just about 20 seconds left in this qualifying session before we go heat racing, and we've seen some drivers already in the first 3 or 4 races, Paul, that have missed the show through qualifying and had to go through these heat races. I think we're going to see it again, guys like E.J. O'Rourke having to come through a heat race once again to try to make the show. I believe we're at 52 or 53 drivers here this evening trying to make a 40-something car field, so they're going to have to get up on the wheel.
Taking 43 cars for the entire field, taking the top 27 qualifying times, running 2 heat races with everybody else, taking 8 from each of those. So a lot of drivers having to work their way into this field here for the Rent-A-Racecar 149. Be sure to check those guys out over on Facebook, Rent-A-Racecar, or facebook.com/rent.racecar. They rent out street stocks over there. Well, up there, I should say, at Stafford Motor Speedway. And there you can see it right there on your screen, that beautiful custom Pro-Am belt, championship belt for the champion, the winner of the championship here, the SIM500 Vidane Racing Super Speedway. It's going to be pretty exciting to crown that, and the winner is not only going to get that beautiful championship belt across their waist, but they're also going to get a shot at running a street stock at Stafford Motor Speedway in real life at the actual Stafford Motor Speedway, courtesy of Rent-A-Racecar. So big time shout out to those guys for hooking us up again with another street stock rental. And well, we're getting ready to go heat race racing here, Tim. We're lining them up for heat race number 1.
So this will be a 14-lap race. We'll take the top 8 to the feature 12 in this race. So it's pretty simple, Paul. We're sending 4 to the house, and everybody else is going to make the show. And how difficult is it to qualify your way in? Chad Coleman, who just won the TCM race, is going to be on pole for heat race number 2. So some of these drivers missed the mark, some of them just getting used to this car. And for those that are just joining us, this is the old COT style race car. So it doesn't have a restrictor plate on it. These guys will be going 235 plus around this racetrack when we do go green. And I talked to some of the guys that were practicing, Paul. They said it kind of reminds them of 2 or 3 weeks ago when we ran the 87 Cup car here. This thing is going to get light going down into the corner. If you're in a big pack, you have to kind of control it a little bit, kind of stick handle a little bit to make sure it stays straight. So they're going to have to be on their toes, and on the front row, Ralph Vander Varstey and Tyler Hallahan going to lead this field to green. And you look through this field, guys like John Wilco, Brian Abbott, row number 2, Kevin D. Brown, who up near the top of the point standings this season, going to start 5th, going to have to qualify his way in. Brandon Browning, James Haney, Jose Gonzalez, Kyle Casagrande, Nick Codner, who we just saw with the top 3 run in TCM, Kyle Young starting deep in this field, and Anthony Bello complete your 12 starters for this one. So, Paul, it's simple. Try to survive. Top 8 make it in, 4 going home.
Absolutely, and it looks like Kyle Young has missed the call, did not make it to the grid, so he's going to have that car on pit road. We'll see if he joins the server and see what the heck is going on there. That right now gives us 11 cars on the track taking the top 8, so all these drivers need to do is get within that top 8. They make the big show here tonight, the Rent-A-Racecar 149 at Talladega Super Speedway. Man, we saw a great race earlier on, Tim, with the Tim's Corner Motorsports race, the Summer Slam Part 2, and it was really exciting. A lot of side-to-side action, 3-wide, 4-wide action, and you got to pay attention to that yellow line. We actually saw the leader get disqualified for passing below the yellow earlier this evening, so definitely something to keep an eye out for all these drivers, and it's something to keep an eye out as well for all the race administrators.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong here. These are the same as the heat races were. No cautions, right?
Correct. No cautions here. So you'll see drivers, we saw it last week as these drivers were trying to qualify in, had a couple of incidents. And here in the booth, we forgot, well, I helped write the rule book, and unfortunately, I forgot the rules. So tough for me, but it's one of those deals where if you spin out or if you get caught up into something, you just really have to get the thing gathered up as quickly as you can and point it in the right direction and just hope that somebody else has an issue, because that's really the only way you're going to be able to move yourself into this main event here tonight, as no cautions for the heat race.
Field has formed up behind the pace car through corner number 4, getting ready to see the green for the first time this evening for the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series, presented by Rent-A-Racecar. To qualify in for the Rent-A-Racecar 149 pace car is heading towards pit road. Field in command of Ralph van der Voorste as they come through the tri-oval. Tyler Hallahan on the outside. Sim racing veteran John Wilco inside row number 2 as they get ready to see the green flag for the first time this evening. Heat race number 1 for the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series set to go green, and Tyler Hallahan already trying to anticipate it on the outside. He is gone. The 68 of van der Voorste on the inside. Green flag is out. We're underway.
Thundering down into turn number 1. A great jump there for the Mountain Dew Green machine there. The 32 ride of Tyler Hallahan. Very strong in the Tim's Corner Motorsports race here. About half hour ago, was able to pair up with a partner of his and really work his way up towards the front. So whoever he hooks up with, be sure to watch out for him later on in this heat race and later on in the main event if he's able to hold on to a top 8 position.
Brian Abbott on the outside trying to bring that thing towards the front of the field. Brandon Browning right in behind him, and up the racetrack he goes. And you saw it there out of the 18 car, Paul. Got a little light going down into corner number 3, and that's what these drivers are going to have to maneuver and manipulate here, because these guys are going 230, 240 miles an hour around this racetrack. You really have to make sure that car don't get light on you.
Talking to Wes O before the race, current points leader. He was doing some practice laps. He actually qualified in the top 27, so you're not going to see him in the heat races here. But he was telling us the cars do really get light. You can't really do much bump drafting in the corners or even on the straightaways here. These cars are just going so fast as they head on into the corners side by side like this, 240 miles an hour in the draft if you're able to hold on to it. And you can see the back end of these race cars really kind of slipping around as they thunder on into turns 3 and turns 1.
Hallahan goes to the outside. You'll see his teammate Greg Snellgrove in heat race number 2, but up in front side by side with the 68 of Voorste trying to take it away from Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown doing a great job here in this heat race, doing what he has to do to put himself in position to lock in. 3 wide in the middle of the pack. The DC Auto number 54 of Codner going to the outside. He slaps the wall. Everybody gets by him as they race down the back.
No harm, no foul. A little bit of damage to the 54 machine, but it looks like everybody's able to keep it going in the right direction. Kyle Casagrande doing a little bit of the same. He's in that transfer spot. Just gives it up to number 18 of Brandon Browning. There you see him on your screen, the pretty pink race car of the number 7, Kyle Casagrande, getting sent over by the NEPS guys, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing group that you see so often here on Vidane TV as they run weekly here with us. Great short track racer is Kyle Casagrande, but it seems like he's actually really good at these super speedway races. You can see right now he's holding on to the back end of that draft, basically waiting for anybody in that top 8 to make a mistake, and you can see there's a mistake right there. There's a couple of drivers shooting way down low onto the inside of the racetrack. Gonna come back onto the track and collect a whole bunch of race cars. No cautions here in the heat races, Tim. Holy moly, that's a little bit of calamity heading on down into turn number 3.
Yeah, that was Browning, and Hallahan gets into the 51 as they tried to collect it in turn number 3, but you mentioned it, no cautions, keep your foot in it, try to get what you can. Nick Codner was able to get by, and he's going to put himself in a transfer position. Kyle Casagrande, the same thing. Up in front, it's all Kevin Brown, but we saw it a couple of weeks ago when these guys ran the 87 cars. I think it was a last lap wreck to put somebody out of a transfer spot, and they were going for the win in the heat race, so anything can happen. You got to keep it straight, and you still got 10 laps to do it, so you got to keep your head about you.
Absolutely. We actually had a race a couple of weeks ago. Chad Coleman was leading with a green-white checkered. Had enough fuel for one, didn't have enough fuel for the second. Restart for the green-white checkered at that point. Ran out of fuel coming out of turn number 2. Everybody wrecked. Every single driver in the field wrecked at that point. One of the biggest wrecks we've ever had here on Vidane TV. So you really have to pay attention, keep your heads about you, keep your wits about you, and drive... well, basically drive by the seat of your pants. Make sure that you can hold on to keep the race car nice and clean. Try and hold on to the top 8 spot. Currently, Tyler Hallahan doing a great job holding on to the 8th spot. Got some damage on that race car, but he's racing all by himself. And behind him, it looks like Kyle Young did finally make the call. He's about a half a lap down at this point, 20 seconds behind the leader. So we're not sure what went down with Kyle Young. Currently running P9, right 1 spot outside the transfer.
But he has a clean race car. Tyler Hallahan, as you saw, does not. So I think that Kyle Young in the catbird seat right now, and with him not being in the draft, as long as he can keep it straight and that car doesn't get late and come around on him, he can get past Tyler Hallahan. He should be in good position to make himself in. But right now, it's the top 8. He currently sits in 9th. Kyle Casagrande up in 7th place. And then up in front, it's kind of status quo, except for this battle for 2nd. Check that 3rd. Jose Gonzalez, John Wilco, side by side at it for position number 3. And that right there, right where it gets down to the corner, you saw John Wilco. That car kind of went up the racetrack a little bit. That's where it gets light in the rear end.
Again, talking to these drivers in the practice session earlier on this evening, we really have to let off the throttle almost as you're coming up on a driver in the draft like that, Tim, because they're just going so fast and there's not enough grip to really hold that car to the racetrack. So they have to kind of back up just a little bit, feather the throttle a little bit, make sure the car's pointed, make sure it's going to stick, especially if you're too wide, because you don't want to, like we saw the 26 car and the 68 car do last lap there. As they turn the car down, it just kind of drifted up the racetrack a little bit. You really don't want to do that when you've got somebody on the outside.
They continue to race for that position. Kevin Brown up in front, leading Brian Abbott in the 82. Jose Gonzalez back in that battle for position number 3. Forstay in position number 4 with John Wilco rounding out your top 5. Codner, Casagrande, and Hallahan are currently your 8 transfer cars, but Kyle Young is closing in on Tyler Hallahan within about 3 seconds. See if we can get maybe an onboard of that 94, because that's going to be the best telltale sign here. Kyle Young closing in on that 88 car. There he is right there, and you can see him licking his chops, getting ever so closer to that number 8 or the 32 in a transfer spot.
Kyle Young, a racer in himself. There you can see he's caught the draft at this point. He's really going to be able to go 230 miles an hour heading down into turn number 1. Lets off just a little bit. He's going to go around the outside with ease, get around the 32 car of Tyler Hallahan. That's going to put Kyle Young into the transfer position. Kyle is he hits the wall. He hits the wall coming out of turn number 2. Didn't back up just enough, and it doesn't seem like it affected the car too much, but all he has to do at this point is try and stay in front of that Tyler Hallahan machine, and we saw Hallahan get caught up in that big wreck earlier on, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue, but Kyle really needs to focus here. He needs to make sure he doesn't scrape that wall again to give Hallahan the position back.
John Wilco nearly bought the farm off of corner number 2 by himself. I was about to say, if you're Tyler Hallahan, you have to kind of wait on Kevin Brown and Brian Abbott, or Jose Gonzalez, and the 68 car to kind of make a mistake amongst these little 2-car packs. But John Wilco just showed how finicky these cars can be, and almost bought the farm off of turn 2, but he keeps it straight. And we will come by this time and see 4 laps remaining in heat race number 1. Kevin Brown, Brian Abbott, your top 2, looking pretty good up there. Maybe trying to learn something in this draft, albeit it is only a 2-car draft.
Really gives you an opportunity, though, Tim, to learn what the draft is going to do to the car, whether or not it's going to upset it going into the corners or coming out of the corners. And with these guys going so fast, 240 miles an hour heading down into the corners, you really need to let up just a little bit just to set the car and make sure that it's pointed in the right direction. And you can see that right now. You can see Brian Abbott doing a great job just kind of being in the tire tracks of number 93 of Kevin D. Brown. Just kind of holding on to the car, seeing where he can run, inside, outside, right behind him to try and close up the most time. Because a lot of times here at Talladega Superspeedway, and really any of the Superspeedways, you may very well come down to a last lap pass, and you really need to know where your car needs to be and how long you've got to make that setup.
So you get 2 cars up in front battling for the lead. You get 2 cars battling for position number 3 in Gonzalez and Vorste. You got Wilco kind of running by himself. Got a little sniff of the draft there. And then you got two drivers in 6th and 7th kind of battling for that position, but they've got a ton of damage because Codner and Casagrande have both hit the wall. So they're kind of, I think, holding on for dear life right now. And Kyle Young is pulled away from Tyler Hallahan by about 6 seconds. So there's plenty of room around this racetrack for these 10 cars to navigate. Brandon Browning on the racetrack 1 lap down. Your leaders continue to pace this field. We have 2 laps to go, and Kevin Brown kind of showed the inside to Abbott that time, but nothing doing off of turn 2, and looks like Abbott's looking for a position here.
Looking for a position, coming to the white flag here at Talladega SuperSpeedway, and it's going to come at the very end of that super long, super stretch on the front straightaway with the start-finish line all the way down there, almost at turn number 1. But you can see right now, trying to close the gap on the back bumper of the number 93 machine. He's going to get right there. He's going to shoot down on the inside. We're going to be side by side to him going into turn number 1.
How safe do they play it? White flag is out. Final lap. The next transfer car is 30 seconds behind or 38 seconds behind to fall out as they go down the back straightaway for the final time. Kevin Brown, Brian Abbott, crossover move down into corner number 3. Brown trying to take it back away from Brian Abbott. They're going to come up, I believe, on a lap car, but I don't know if they're going to get there or not. Abbott, is he going to try the crossover move one more time? No, he's going to stay to the right rear quarter, get that run off of corner number 4. The 93 of Kevin Brown to the inside, side by side for the win. In the heat race, it's going to go to Brian Abbott. What a run to the outside.
Brian Abbott showing the high side is going to be the stronger side if it's 1 versus 1 here. Kevin Brown 2nd, Jose Gonzalez 3rd, Ralph Vander Voorts, I'm going to have to figure out how to say that name. He finishes 4th. John Wilco 5th, Nick Codner 6th, Kyle Casagrande, he's in 7th in the 7 car. Kyle Young barely races his way in. Tyler Hallahan, Brandon Browning rounding out the top 10. James Haney 11th, and 12th is going to go to Anthony Bello. Lining up heat race number 2, Wes Rowdy Hogue, he qualified in. He had a quick time. He's going to be qualified into this race. So we're going to bring him into the booth and have him call a little bit of action here in heat race number 2.
Man, it's good to see you guys. It's good not to have to race in one of these heat races once again, especially at this this setup that we have. This is easily going to be one of the most, the biggest competition that we're going to have all season, and the toughest experience that we're going to have on a super speedway. Paul, this is nuts tonight. I'll tell you that.
Just taking a look, I don't actually see Kyle Young. Kyle Young's radio must have come unplugged, so I'm not actually seeing him in here at this point. So looks like here he is. We'll see if we can pull Kyle Young up here. Barely raced his way in, finished 8th in that first heat race. We're actually gonna tag. Me and Tim are gonna tag out. We're gonna give you guys the opportunity to listen. Kyle and Wes call heat race number 2. Chad Coleman here, starting on the pole.
All right, yeah, as you heard from Paul, Chad Coleman in that number 38 machine starting pole. 2nd place on his outside will be Greg Snellgrove in that number 22 machine.
3rd place starter, driving car number 48, that is Jimmy North, and Jimmy will have the 01 machine of Dwight Beverly to his outside, starting in position number 4.
Lined up behind him will be the 41, and that is E.J. O'Rourke, firing up his machine. Not used to seeing him in the Conti races, but here he is in heat number 2, and his outside will be Tanton Wildridge in the 56.
Position number 7 will be filled by the 60 machine of Matt Zaccardo. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. And Jason Goss in car number 50 will be on the outside in position number 8.
What works his way up, you'll see Steve Herring in the number 98 machine. He'll be starting on the inside of the 90 of Ken Zeems.
6th and final row for this 2nd and final heat race will look like this. The 3 machine of Jeff Ryan will be on the bottom in position number 11, and starting scratch on the field, driving car number 88 is Parker Parrish. So there you have it, 12 cars set for this 14-lap heat race. Top 8 cars are going to go to the dance here tonight, sending 4 of them home early.
We're giving the viewers a little bit something different than what they typically get on a Vidane TV broadcast. Is we're able to jump out of our race cars, get up in the booth, and kind of give first-hand experience before the race even starts of what's coming up. Kyle, in practice, I realized that turn 2 Raw likes to come out and slap you in the rear. and we go really fast.
Found that out a few times during that first heat race there. That seems to be an issue. I didn't really feel that too much in turn number 4. I felt like that end of the racetrack was all right, but everything that I just ran in that heat race, I'm going to take it completely out of my head because it's going to be so much different racing around these cars with the drafting going a little bit faster than what I was. So I'll be very interested in watching this and calling this race, trying to learn as much as I can to prepare myself for this feature race coming up here in a few minutes.
And for a change, we're actually going to worry about tire wear here at a super speedway here tonight, as the green flag has dropped for heat number 2. Chad Coleman and Greg Snellgrove are your leaders. The 22 on the outside there with the hole shot. 48 gets a bump. The 48 hard into the wall. He collects with him. Dwight Beverly in the 01 right off the bat. Dwight Beverly hard damage. The 48 of Jimmy North still up against the wall in 1 and 2. Big trouble here coming into 1 on lap 1.
Field scatters around, and the majority of them avoid. The 88 machine of Parker Parrish has some front end damage to his ride, but other than that, I believe everybody else is clean and green. Separating the field here, going to make things very interesting for that transfer position. We'll see who's in and who's out as they come across the line here to complete the first lap. But back at the front of the field, it is the number 22 machine of Greg Snellgrove. He will lead lap number 1, 4-car pack up here at the front of the field. That 4th car, Tanton Woolridge, trying to grasp on to the back of the draft and hang with these leaders. But right now, the top 3 thrown underneath of a blanket with Woolridge trying to hang on. And he's into the outside wall and glued into it. Those outside safer barriers, they will suck you in and they will keep you in. So he'll lose some momentum, and now he will get under fire by the number 50 machine of Jason Goss, and Goss will take that position over.
The number 98 machine of Steve Herring, he's another driver that had to succumb to his injuries there on lap 1. He is limping around, not nearly at the pace of maybe the 48 is, but that 98 car is, he's feeling the wrath of that lap 1 mayhem. But man, you typically don't see that happening on lap 1. But right now, Jeff Rhino in the number 3, he is the last transfer spot with 60 of Matt Zaccardo, though not too far behind him. Now, the draft, and the 3 pounces off the wall. He goes flying to the middle of the track. He is a rolling roadblock for the 60, but he's able to work his way around and move into the transfer spot. Kyle, we're going to see a wild card in this race that we typically don't see at plate tracks, and that is not only tire wear, but handling. These are things you typically don't hear when it comes to Daytona and Talladega, but you're going to hear a lot of it tonight. We're up front. They're almost 3 wide for the lead, as now the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke takes second place.
Absolutely right, Wes, and I believe I was feeling some of that in this short 14-lap heat race. The car started to get a little bit sideways on me on the entries, and I had to really pay attention to myself and said, be careful here. This thing's going to start moving around. You don't want to dump yourself out of a transfer spot. So a lot of different variables are going to be at play for all of us drivers tonight. It is not going to be a typical super speedway race as if you haven't been already able to figure that one out. So it's going to challenge us in ways that we are not used to here at the Talladega Superspeedway, but either way, it should be a lot of fun. And we're seeing the excitement and the drama that this package is going to create.
Okay, we got a battle for the lead as EJ now looks low on the 22. Going into 1, he's going to float up the track a little bit, really experiencing how you have to lift a little bit as he bounces off the yellow line, not once but twice, losing his momentum. That allows the 22 to barely miss the wall. Snellgrove able to keep the lead. He clears the 41 down the backstretch. Now here comes the 38 of Chad Coleman. Chad Coleman works his way to the outside of the 41. 41 looks like he may have lifted just a little bit, maybe giving Chad a little bit of room, understanding that this race, nothing pays. The only thing you need to do is get the top 8. All 3 of these drivers are securely into the big show, which is the big picture.
Want to be careful here. Racing amongst each other, getting a taste of the draft. It's good practice, good preparation for that feature event. But if you make a mistake here and you crash yourself out, you will not be in that 60-lap event. So it's important to, while you're also learning, be aware, be careful. You've got plenty of space to work with. The 8th place driver right now, Jeff Ryan, he's 5.5 seconds behind the race leader. So this pack, 5.5 seconds ahead of the transfer position. Looks like Jason Goss is slowly but surely reeling these guys in. But even still, 4 cars in your lead pack, still another 4 behind them that are in. They want to be smart, and they want to be careful to make sure that they don't throw their opportunity away.
Woolridge in that 56 machine, he was 6th last lap. He's fallen out of the transfer positions to 9th. However, in front of him, he has a 3-car gaggle. He's able to keep it in his crosshairs, waiting for somebody to make a mistake as he's choosing the bottom line on the 3 of Jeff Ryan, who currently holds that 7th position. And Wooldridge is, he is the last transfer position with the 60 of Zaccardo in that 9th position. He's a bit further away, but Kyle, we've already seen it. These cars are so squirrely. There's so much to do with handling. Even a four-car group, this could mean disaster if the driver makes one wrong move. And as we have a car in the wall, Kyle, that is a 90 of Ken Zeems.
Ken Zeems gets up into the outside wall, slaps it, falls to the back of this pack, and trying to keep the draft going. This could be the opportunity that Matt Zaccardo...
Kyle, we have 3 wide up front, 3 wide. The 22 just took it 3 wide down the middle.
These top 3 drivers are absolutely brawling. They are doing everything they can to put on a show, and it creates some excitement. They're doing just that, swapping the lead, using the entirety of this racetrack. Chad Coleman trying to make that top lane work to pull to the outside of your race leader. Not quite there just yet. EJ O'Rourke doesn't decide to push the issue and get right immediately underneath of him. He was running a lane lower, but allows Coleman to come back down. O'Rourke will come up to that cover.
The 90 of Ken Zeems is involved. The 88 of Parker Parrish. All the 60 plows into Zeems. The 60 of Zaccardo. His car sounds like it's completely under power. He's trying to get that car back going. Ken Zeems is wrecked out. The 88 of Parker Parrish doing donuts. Oh! Ken Zeems playing a little bit of destruction derby here on the exit of 4. Not happy with the 88 machine that completely lost it on his own in 3 and 4. Came back up the track and wrecked into the Ken Zeems machine, ultimately putting them out of the show.
Just like that, everything ends quickly in that 2-car pack. Both cars behind got a piece of the incident as well. So coming across the line here, things starting to settle in. Looks like Parker Parrish, as you mentioned, Wes, Parker Parrish and Ken Zeems, they are severely damaged. They are out of this event. They are not going to make it in. And it looks like right now Matt Zaccardo and Steve Herring, despite the 2 of them making contact with that incident, they do have the final 2 transfer spots. They just got to make sure those cars don't blow up from the damage they sustained.
Kyle, you proved in Heat 1 that it's not over until the checkered flag flies. You damn near missed the show. You start a half lap behind, and you still found a way to transfer. So right here is Zaccardo. He looked like he was looking for a needle in a haystack, looking for that 8th position, and now he's sitting 7th. Now, Steve Herring is under. It sounds like he may be blowing up in that 8th position in the number 98. He's all the way on the apron through 1 and 2. And and he is completely blown up in that 8th position. That means the number 48 currently is a lap down in 9th of Jimmy North. If he can keep that car on power and all 4 wheels to the asphalt, he will move on down a lap.
Steve Herring parked it at the exit of turn number 2 down by the inside wall, took the tow. So this is Jimmy North's opportunity right here. He needs to keep the car out of the wall, keep it pointed in the right direction, and he's going to be competing in tonight's Rent-A-Racecar 150 here at the Talladega Superspeedway. And remember, Jimmy was involved in that lap 1, turn 1 incident. Felt like his opportunity to transfer in was completely dashed. He lost a lead lap, but here he is with an opportunity to transfer in with a few laps to go, as Steve Herring in trouble, and I believe he should take over that position when he hits the stripe.
Quick shout out to Casey Feaster. He is a 4-cylinder legend in the land of Florida. He is watching. He's a big Vidane TV fan of the leaders on the wall. 22 slaps the wall hard of Snellgrove. EJ O'Rourke dropped back about 5 seconds on purpose to make sure he wasn't caught up in something, and luckily he did. Snellgrove, though, able to keep the tires forward, able to hold on to second. Man, even when you have it locked up, Kyle, they're still giving us some drama. Snellgrove now, he's not at 100%, but he should be fine.
Yeah, there's some damage to that right side of that number 22 Dodge that he is sporting. 2 laps to go right now, but we're going to go to the outside. He should have made quick work of the 22 machine. Blasts right on around and will take over position number 2. It's about another 3.5 seconds or so back to the 4th place driver, Jason Goss. But as we've mentioned, Wes, your last transfer position, Jimmy North right now, 1 lap down. So really, as long as these guys can get to the white flag, they should be good. They kind of, in a way, have a free last lap to just make it on around here, but it looks like any drama for transfer positions should be over as long as nobody crashes from here on out.
Kyle, we learned last week that just because you're in the Consi does not mean that your chances are slim of winning the big show if you go on, as the winner last week moved on from the Consi. So getting into the show is what it's all about, and you see our top three here should have no problem here with the white flag being shown. I believe our top eight here will meet our starting lineup. It's gonna really take a miracle or someone just quitting for Parker Parrish in that 88 in order to move on. But man, what a crazy race, Kyle. I will talk to you once we get in the same room, but until then, I'm going to go strap up, and I'm going to see what we can do here at Talladega, buddy. And also to Paul and Tim, have some fun up here, guys. Enjoy the show.
Should be a fun one. Checkered flag flies, the second one that he's collected tonight. Chad Coleman going to win heat race number 2. He just went to victory lane in that TCM special here at Talladega Superspeedway. Another win for him, a much different win, but he wins this heat race. He is qualified in. EJ O'Rourke will finish in position number 2. Greg Snellgrove comes home in 3rd. 4th place will be Jason Goss. Jeff Ryan finishing up in position number 5. Tanton Woolridge will transfer in 6th. 7th place, Matt Zaccardo. I believe he is still coming around the racetrack at the moment. He is. He's over in turn 4 right now, so he should be good as long as that car hangs on. And then, as we mentioned, Jimmy North in position number 8. He'll take that final transfer spot, although he is off of the lead lap.
Fantastic job, Kyle and Wes. That's why we pay you guys the big bucks. Appreciate you guys jumping in here, giving me and Tim a little bit of a break ski here at the SIM500 Vidane Super Speedway Series. Race number 4, the Rent-A-Racecar 149 here at Talladega Super Speedway. Tag back out. Me and Tim back in the booth. You guys back down to your race trucks. Good luck here tonight. Hope you guys have a fantastic run. But Tim, little bit of a couple minutes on the clock here for warm-up. Looks like these guys are going to get 5 minutes to kind of feel the race cars out, figure out last chance strategies, I guess you could call it, as these guys get a little bit of time to practice here.
And we talk about those drivers that did not qualify through those heat races. We've said earlier in the season, guys like EJ O'Rourke, Richard Beasley, those super speedway specialists have missed shows. I think Dwight Beverly is probably one of the big names. Steve Herring, familiar name to SIM500 competition. Anthony Bello, Tyler Hallahan, Brandon Browning, James Haney. Missing the show, and then Ken Zeems missed the show as well. I think he must have been concussed. I sitting back and watching that one there after that hit, and then hitting late, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, Paul. But he's not making the show tonight. So 43 getting ready to go green, and this will be the first time, Paul, that they'll be on the racetrack all together, as when they come in for the practice sessions, they're split up via groups. So they only get to practice with like 10, maybe 15 of their peers. But now when we throw the green flag, there's going to be 43 of them buzzing around here at the same time. And with these race cars handling tires, as Wes mentioned, this is going to be a pretty fun feature, I think.
Oh, 100%. These guys are going into the corners here at Talladega at 250 miles an hour, 240 miles an hour, in a pack, side by side, 3 wide, 4 wide. And we talked to Rowdy Wesley Hogue here, the current points leader in the SIM500 Vidane Super Speedway Series, after 3 races. After 3 laps, these tires are shot. These guys are going to be begging for 4 tires coming down pit road every single time. It's going to be crazy to see what these guys can do here, but want to take this opportunity. We got a couple of minutes here, still 3 minutes left in the final warm-up, the happy hour, if you will. Gives these drivers a chance to check out the setup and basically make some last minute, well, you can't really adjust the setup, but you can adjust yourself and the way you're driving. But we just saw it over on Facebook and our newly opened up Twitter account. Check us out on all the social media outlets: Facebook, Vidane TV, YouTube, Vidane TV, Twitch, Vidane Racing TV, and Twitter. I think it's at Vidane TV, however Twitter works. I'm still trying to learn that. I'm a boomer in my own right, but we did just announce over on the social media a couple hours ago the brand new Teespring store for Vidane TV. You can get yourself a Vidane TV hoodie, t-shirt, tank top. You can even do a Vidane TV face mask, which is kind of neat. I ordered a couple for myself to check them out. But head on over to teespring.com/store/Vidane TV, or you can even head on over to Vidane.net and click on the merch button up there across in that red bar, the navigation links. Take you right to it and get yourself a little bit of Vidane TV swag. Show everybody that you watch some racing here on the internet and you are entertained by #Vidane TV.
I think we talked to Brent Roy a little bit earlier on. He's going to buy a mug, I think. So if you need something for your morning coffee, that might be the ticket for you. But head over there and check it out. And Christmas is coming, birthdays, they make great gifts for anything. And we're just a few moments away from seeing another gift of some super speedway racing, Paul, about a minute and a half before we set these cars on the grid.
Yeah, just taking a look at the points right now. It's Kevin D. Brown. We actually saw him run the last race here at Tim's Corner Motorsports. Ran very well. And Jarrett Bolliard, the champ, he's trying to get himself a second championship belt here from Vidane Racing. Beautiful custom wrestling style championship belt brought to you by ProAmBelts.com. Those guys do an absolutely fantastic job, and be sure to check them out on Facebook as well. And Daniel Falkingham, who's been fast in this series as well, third quickest in the final practice. So pretty big times going up on the clock. 40.513 seems to be the quickest time in the draft there for Kevin D. Brown in the 93 car.
And these drivers getting the final couple of moments in, and maybe trying to find a drafting partner and try to hook up and see what they have for a 60 lap race here this evening. So, and these laps go by fairly quickly when we do have them under green. So we'll see these laps click off fairly quick as we get ready in just a few moments time to wave the green flag on this one. Final couple of seconds ticking down. I see some drivers trying to make their green flag pit stop entrance as well. So that might be something to watch if we do get some green flag racing and do see these guys come down onto pit road.
We've seen it happen. Green flag pit stops, the very first race here in this particular series for SIM500 Vidane Racing. 2 sets of green flag pit stops, Tim. We went 56 laps green flag racing at Daytona for race number 1, and it was absolutely fantastic. It was best racing I've seen in a very long time. But we're looking like we're getting ready to do a little bit more of that racing as we're lining them up on the grid. Up front, going to be the number 24. This guy's always fast. He was in the top 5 in points last season. Jonathan Goke in the number 24 going to lead him down. Mitchell Hunt in the 77 car. That is a gorgeous looking paint scheme. He's going to start row 1, P2.
You want to talk about throwbacks? That is the Libra that he used to run in what is now the eNASCAR Coca-Cola iRacing Series. So great to see Mitchell back here. Row number 2 sees a couple of heavy hitters. He's won a feature already this season. Gabe Butler in the 1. And Wes Rowdy Hogue, your point leader, trying to lock it down outside of row number 2. And then the defending champions back there, row number 3, Paul.
The champ is here. Number 79, Jarrett Bolliard. He's going for 2 championships. He already told everybody at the beginning of the season, by the time this whole end of the deal rolls around, you're going to be calling him Jarrett 2 belts. He's going to start 5th. Outside of him, the number 87 of Raymond Rittenauer II.
Couple of familiar names in the next row. Daniel Falkingham to the inside and Tommy Ryan to the outside as we begin to roll. And I think there's a couple of drivers back here, Paul, that did not answer the call to the green, so they'll be starting near the back of the field. That might not be a bad strategy.
No, absolutely. We're going to keep going through the grid here on your screen, but gives these guys an opportunity to pretty much let everybody get around them. We know there's definitely these cars are a lot to handle. We talked to Wes, we talked to Kyle, and they did a great job calling the second heat race there for you. Good-looking paint scheme there for the number 5, the Quaker State ride. That's a cool-looking race car. But these guys are going to be going 240, 250 miles an hour into these corners, and they have to let off quite a bit so they don't run over the guy in front of, and they don't want to move up the track and wreck the guy out there and put him up into the wall. So, and we also heard that the tires are shot by lap 3. So this is going to be a very entertaining race. We got 60 laps up on the board here for the Rent-A-Racecar 150. Very excited, Tim. Race number 4 in the series for the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway. And the first time we've had a little bit of collaboration between Vidane, SIM500, and Tim's Corner Motorsports as we're pulling the double-double here on Vidane TV. We just crowned Chad Coleman the winner, and he gets the opportunity to win a Vidane TV sweatshirt from the the brand new Teespring store over at teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. This is about to get good.
Looking through the field, of course, Chad will start 29. But did we mention that Kevin England's in the show? He was up here about an hour ago, half hour ago.
I sent Kevin I sent Kevin down to the snack bar for a hot dog and a diet iRacing an hour ago, and you're going to tell me he's in this field?
He must have commandeered a race car to get in here, but he will start, qualified his way in on time. He'll start back in position number 20 as you see those drivers go through the field. The pace car is about to go through pit road, and Jonathan Goke and Mitchell Hunt will start this race from the front row. 60 laps presented by Rent-A-Racecar. Glad you could be with us here on Vidane TV, the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series. It's round number 4 from the Talladega SuperSpeedway, and Jonathan Goke going to put the hammer down. Green flag is out. We are underway as the field flashes down the short chute down into corner number 1.
Some gorgeous race cars on that front row, some absolute powerhouse drivers in that top 5. Holy moly, the 24 and the 77 get a great start, side bumper to bumper by themselves, single file. The third place car is up there as well, trying to close in. Rowdy Wesley Hogue trying to do his best to close in on that lead as well. He's the points leader. He really wants to win a race so he can really kind of lay back and kind of relax a little bit, because as you win a race here, as long as you stay in the top 30, Tim, you get yourself into that championship 8.
Jonathan Goke maintains the lead of note. Gabe Butler, who won a race earlier this season, was one of those drivers that did not answer the call to the green flag. He's now on the racetrack, but he's way back in 40th place as the field comes across to complete lap number 1. Here comes Rowdy Hogue to the inside. Not a whole lot of help directly to the rear bumper, but he's got Tommy Ryan, Daniel Falkingham trying to make it happen as they run down the back straightaway.
Hogue doing a great job holding on out front. He's really got 2 different styles. He's either going to lead the entire race or he's going to hang out in the back of the pack to make sure that that car does not get wrecked. But it looks like at this point he's going to see if he can kind of lock up with the 24 of Jonathan Goke, who was also in the top 5 in the point standings last year, just like myself. I was there too. You can definitely look that up on Vidane.net as a stat, but you can see Jonathan Goke doing a great job on the outside in that number 24. Looks like a kind of a Jeff Gordon Dale Jr. mashup there. Kind of a cool looking throwback paint scheme there.
And he's got Daniel Falkingham to the outside. Scored his 39, 88 on the door as they work down the back straightaway. Talked about teammates, Jonathan Goke and Wes Hogue being teammates. I believe Daniel Falkingham, Mitchell Hunt are working in the same Discord channel as well. And there you see Falkingham go to the inside, right in front of Mitchell Hunt. Falkingham will go to the lead with the Libra on the back bumper.
Lieber doing a great job closing in on that National Guard number 88, Dale Jr.'s paint scheme there. Wes Hogue still in the fight. Jonathan Goke still in the fight. Those guys those two kind of working together a little bit here in the Sim500. They know they're both from the Vidane Racing League. They're kind of a frenemies type deal. One of those deals where you're kind of working with your enemies to gain a common interest here, and one of those guys really wanting to go for the championship. There you see West diving on down low, the Exxon number 20 making it 3 wide for P2, but he's got the momentum. He's going to try and take the lead. He gets shut down by the number 88 there of Daniel Falkingham.
Great qualifying effort this evening by Tommy Ryan. He moves to the inside of the 77 Hunt as they race towards the tri-oval area. Hogue comes down to block the advance of Tommy Ryan. The 77 of Hunt to the outside. Daniel Falkingham goes to pick him up, and Wes Hogue will maintain the lead down into corner number 1. Falkingham led the lap, but it's going to be the Exxon number 20 that takes the advantage side by side and behind him as they race side by side down the back straightaway. Tommy Ryan trying to get the advantage on the inside.
It's still his set. Rowdy Wesley Hogue, P2 in the last 2 championship seasons for Vidane Racing. Came up just short for the 2014 championship when Ian Plash won the belt then. And the beginning, 88, Daniel Falkingham hard in the wall. He's going to get a shot from the 10 of Richard Beasley, send him on around. That's definitely going to bring out the caution. A couple of other cars tag the number 88 car. Tough break for Falkingham. Pull up the instant replay here, Tim. That's gives us an opportunity to kind of back up and see what went down. But, man, tough break for the 88.
And just before that, Mitchell Hunt had got the wall. We saw with the Kyle Young and Wes Hogue call of that last heat race that safer barrier will chew you up and spit you out. Mitchell Hunt, it happened to him, but I think, Paul, it took him out of what was this wreck here.
May very well be right. You can see the 88 was getting followed by the 77. There you see 24 of Jonathan Goke, and they're heading down into turn number 3. West does a great job moving on down the low side. And you can see the 77 gets up into the wall, scrapes it just a little bit. It kind of lags him back, and the 88 tries to tries to move up on the 20, gets the quarter, he backs up so he doesn't get him, and he gets sucked around by the wall. But there you can see the 77. He was still kind of kissing that wall just a little bit, but he was able to skate on by without actually tagging the 88 car of Fockingham. So good news there for the 77, Mitchell Hunt being able to get by with a little bit of damage, but tough break for the number 88.
And tough break for the 10 car of Richard Beasley. The Tide car just cleaned out Daniel Fockingham after he came off the wall.
That is a tough break. Beasley ran the last race as well, doing really good job up in the top 10. He was last race, so tough to see him getting cleaned out here.
He'll have to come down. I would think there's damage to that race car. There are no quick repairs by the looks of it, so come down, get what you can massaged of it, and hope you're not too far off the pace. Beasley will bring that number 10 down onto pit road. Kevin Brown, he was in a heat race, so he's worked his way all the way up into the top 10 already, from 30th to 8th through the wreck and the opening couple laps. Great run for Kevin Brown, and about half the field in behind your top 5 coming down onto pit road. We're going to see a couple of drivers stay out here, I think, and get track position.
Yeah, it's early on, Tim. It's still lap 7, 60 laps here at Talladega Speedway. It's it's 2.66 miles here all the way around, and you can see just about everybody in the back of the pack coming down pit road to either get tires or fuel, top off the fuel tank, or get a little bit of damage banged out as well. Still early on, there's going to be a lot of different strategies as we go throughout the night. Some of these guys are going to be racing a battle of attrition, trying to essentially just hold on and survive the race, survive any of the big wrecks. But a lot of guys are going to be trying to do that fuel mileage thing to make sure that they have enough fuel to make it to the very end.
And we talked about the handle on these race cars. Trying to keep these things underneath you. 3 tire sets in this race, so the tire set you have on your car, 2 in the pits, so you've got to conserve those as well. It's a 60-lap race. There's no quick repairs to think about, but when do you come down and take fuel? When do you come down and take 4 tires and put the handle back underneath the race car for a few laps under green? So there is that strategy of the handling and the tire wear, and to that point, when do you take those tires, and when do you come down and put the fuel in these race cars? But up in front, we've got about 12 or 13 that stayed out. Tommy Ryan, Wes Ho, Stefan Marinick, who won a race earlier this season in this Vidane SuperSpeedway Series, Thomas O'Leary, Jonathan Goke scored as your top 5, and then Jimmy Coleman, Bobby Wetzel, Greg Snellgrove, Jeff Ryan, and Jason Goss complete your top 10 as we work around this Talladega SuperSpeedway on caution flag number 1. And the cool thing about this series, yeah, we talked about the belt, Paul, but also Rent-A-Racecar coming on board again. So not only does your champion get to drive in the simulated world, they get to drive a real race car as well when this is all said and done.
Absolutely. Rent-A-Racecar, Gary Spinato Jr., Paul Federicchio Jr., and everybody over on the Facebook page, everybody over at the shop watching now. Pretty cool to allow me to commandeer the Facebook page so we can stream this series from Vidane TV over to you guys, to a whole new audience of some real race fans. Pretty excited. A lot of fans over at Stafford Motor Speedway watching as well. So as we've done here for the past 2 races, or the 2 seasons of Vidane Racing, Rent-A-Racecar has been the series sponsor, and they've offered to, again, sponsor the series. Basically, what they're going to do is once we get a champion crowned, they get the championship belt. I'm going to mail it out to them so they get a chance to take some selfies with it, hang out with it, take it to the bar, tuck it in at night. Very, very cool looking championship belt brought to you by Pro-Am Belts. Those guys did an awesome job on the belt again here for the 3rd time we've had it, but they're going to be able to mail that, fly back here to Connecticut. I'll pick you up from the airport in my big blue Tundra, and we'll hang out, we'll grab some lunch. We're going to head over to Stafford Motor Speedway, and you get an opportunity to race a street stock at Stafford Motor Speedway. You get the heat races, you get the practice, you get the whole feature, the whole kit and caboodle, brought to you by Rent-A-Racecar. I'm so glad those guys were able to jump on for the sponsorship. Again, the champion of this series, the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Champion. They get that awesome championship belt, Tim, and then they get to jump in an actual race car. And this year, because Jarrett Bolliard, the previous champion, didn't get a chance to get up here because of COVID-19, we're having a champion versus champion night. So that's going to be pretty exciting to have potentially two champions. We'll see if Jarrett Two Belts can get the championship this year, but potentially have 2 champions and a whole bunch of Vidane Racing, sim racing fans at Stafford Speedway. Going to be a good time, Tim.
So if Jarrett wins the championship, it can't be champion versus champion, or does that mean he wins by default?
I'll just have to take the role of potential champion. I'm a championship producer.
We will go with that.
I got my belt right here.
Well, there you go. See, you don't have to even ship them the belt. You're gonna eventually do that, but you have the belt right now that says you are the champion, right?
Oh, absolutely. And one of the things I keep telling Gary Spinato Jr. is like, we'll just turn it into tag team championships and we'll put them on the line 24/7. So be sure to check out the social media outlets for Vidane TV to check that stuff out when that time comes. But the pace car, he's going to dip on down left. He's going to go get himself a corn dog on pit road. We're getting back to racing. Tommy Ryan, the number 99, he's going to lead him down. Rowdy Wesley Hogue, the number 20 machine on the outside, sponsored by Exxon, bringing him down slowly on that front stretch, waiting for that green flag to come on out. There it is. Great start from the 99. That's going to bring, looks like the caution comes right out. Nope, green flag. Just kidding. Tommy Ryan gets a great start. That's about 10 car lengths as he heads on down to turn number 1 over Wesley Hogue in the 20.
It's feeding time at the zoo back here with these drivers that have the fresh tires. The 77 of Mitchell Hunt's been bobbing and weaving, trying to get by a couple of cars middle of the pack. Up in front continues to be Tommy Ryan, but Wesley Hogue going to go to the inside and try to pick up the lead. I think this might have been a big enough sample size of about 6 or 7 green flag laps, Paul, to see what these new tires have compared to the old tires. Might not be as big, but right now you got about the top 8 or so just trying to break away from the rest of the pack.
A little bit of contact there between Jonathan Goke, the 24, the 99, and Tommy Ryan, but it looks like they get it gathered back up, still side by side for 2. But Wes Hogue still out front. He needs this race. He wants to win this race. I've spoken to him quite a few times this week, and his man, this is BS. I'm leading the points, but I've led the points before, and I did not get the championship. He wants a win as we got the Mountain Dew car on the wall. The other Mountain Dew car going to shoot on down low to avoid all that, and that's going to bring the 9 car of Bobby Wetzel, move him up into the 5th position. But these top 4 guys, Tim, side by side, 2 by 2. Jonathan Goke down low, Wes Hogue up high.
You got Stefan Marinick here as well. He's won a race this season before. You got Tommy Ryan that's been up here mixing it up. You talk about not only super speedway names, but names that are familiar to SIM500 fans and familiar to sim racing fans, racing up in front of this pack. But looking out back, top 3 get single file, and then you've got guys like Jimmy Coleman, Thomas O'Leary, Kevin Brown mixing it up here. Just inside the top 5 are battling for top 5 positions as they run down the back straightaway. Stefan Marinick kind of keeping an eye on Goke up in front for the lead, but for the most part, these guys up in front, knock on wood, have found a place to race. Got one in the fence back there. I think that might be the 3 of Jeff Ryan.
3 car on Jeff Ryan, hard in the wall, and the wall would not give up. There you see Chad Coleman in the 38 car going by. Held up Mitchell Hunt just a little bit, but he was able to get back down and around. And there you can see Kyle Young in the 94 machine. Looks like he did not pit that last time by, trying to get a little bit of track position. Missing the start of the race of the heat race, qualifying his way in, but starting way deep in the field. Currently running in the 16th position, Vidane TV's own Kyle Young. Started 42nd, almost dead last here, now running mid-pack. So great run so far for the number 94 of Kyle Young.
Trying to keep all the fenders on it early. He knows that you have to finish in order to finish first as they come out of corner number 4. The leaders continue to work around this Talladega SuperSpeedway. Wes Hogue in position number 2, trying to set up Marinick for the lead position, but you know, you don't have to lead all the laps in order to take away that victory. I think Wes might be sitting back there laying in wait right now. Top 3 had kind of broken away on that restart. 4th is kind of accordioning back up to the rest of the field. Greg Snellgrove, great run in the 22. He's to the inside of Bobby Wetzel as they go side by side.
Side by side for position number 4. The top 3 seem to have checked out for time being. Wes Hogue doing a really good job trying to run in the tire tracks of number 21 of Marinac. He knows he wants to win this race, but he knows that the tire wear is going to be a big issue. Telling us earlier before the race, as he was calling in the heat race action, after about 3-4 laps, these tires are shot, and we can see that Wes still hasn't pitted yet. So 13 laps on those tires, Tim, really going to be affecting the race car.
Looking back through the pack, I think Thomas O'Leary may have got the wall at a corner number 4 that last time by. He's starting to lose a couple of positions, and you kind of really see it with all that damage that you get one small little mistake. Saw it with Mitchell Hunt a little bit earlier on as well. It's going to throw you back a bunch of positions, and in behind He's got, I believe that is Tommy Ryan, who ran up in the top 3 on the restart. He's back there as well. And then a whole pack of cars led by the 79 of the champion, Jarrett Bulliard. And side by side and behind him, guys like Chad Coleman, Tanton Woolridge, and E.J. O'Rourke, and Nick Codner about mid-pack.
A lot of fast guys in this center of the pack. There you see at the very back, Kyle Young, our very own here at Vidane TV. And these guys, it's one of those things. They're trying to fight for position, but if they were able to line up here, Tim, they could really close in. Oh, we got a car on the wall. He's going to shoot down low on the inside. That's the number 08 of Thomas O'Leary, the fourth, rather. Holding the brakes, trying to avoid getting up in that racing groove. Does a great job. Single car spin. Still going to bring out the caution here at Talladega SuperSpeedway for the Rent-A-Racecar 149. It's going to be Stephen Marinac up front, your leader.
Been a rough couple of laps for that 08 car as he got the wall a couple of laps before and then got the wall on the back straight away. So he's got the front and the back already covered, and a tough run for O'Leary in these last couple laps as the field will bunch back up. And I think for these guys like Chad Coleman, guys like E.J. O'Rourke that were running around that pack, I think that's probably a great idea, just as long as you don't get caught up in anything. And we almost saw it there with the 08 of O'Leary. What do you got in the replay?
Pulling it up right now, the instant replay brought to you by the new Teespring store for Vidane TV, teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. Pick yourself up a t-shirt, a hoodie, a face mask, a coffee mug, some pretty cool championship belt stickers for $5. Those are kind of neat. I actually ordered about 10 of them already. But taking a look right now, the Thomas O'Leary machine gets up into the wall and then shoots that car right down to the inside wall, tags it there, so not really big damage, just kind of pancakes, and you can see he holds the brakes here, does a great job staying outside of the racing groove, and everybody gets by without any kind of additional mayhem there. So gonna bring us back up to the leaders. Looks like we had a couple of pit stops here, Tim, as we can see. Nope, just kidding. Stephen Marinac still up front leading the race.
But he may come down to the pit road here, and indeed, Paul, he's going to point that number 21, a quick lane Wood Brothers Ford on the pit road, and he is not going to be alone. He is going to bring a number of drivers along with him.
Bringing everybody.
Yeah, looking pretty lonely on the racetrack there. Look, everybody's coming in. Nobody's staying out.
Not even staying out to lead a lap. Every single driver has come down pit road. This is pretty cool to see. Almost 43 drivers come down and make a pit stop at the very same time. Jonathan Goh currently scored as the leader. You can see he's in the pit one. Kyle Young beats everybody out of pit road. He is going to be the leader. Rowdy Wesley Hogue second. Jonathan Goh comes out third. And then the rest of the pack. Mitchell Hunt, the champ. Jarrett Bulliard. Brian Macklin. Bobby Wetzel. E.J. O'Rourke. Stephen Marinac. And Tommy Ryan. Who was it? The macho man that said, "Ooh, the cream always rises to the top."
Or the cream always drives through pit road and doesn't stop in his box. Is that a thing? Because that's what Kyle Young just did. No tires, no fuel. And it almost looks like he was pretty darn close to speeding near the end of pit road. I think he put the throttle down just as he came off of pit road. But yeah, Kyle Young did not stop. The good news is, though, he's going to be reconnected with Wes Hogue up in front. So if there's any teammates, and Jonathan Goch is up there as well. So if there's any positive, he got some track position out of it, yes. He's going to work with some drivers he's familiar with, yes. But he did not get any tires, did not get any fuel. We'll see if there's any advantage whatsoever between that and brand new, fresh tires and fuel inside the race cars and behind him.
It's really tough to make that call right now because Kyle is very quick on super speedways, short tracks, the off-road, the jumpy stuff, all the cool little trucks and dealies. Pretty much fast anything he jumps in iRacing, and he's got a pretty cool promotion, Crash for Cash Promotions. Check them out on Facebook. Trying to set up a race here at Irwindale, the Irwindale Insanity 200 next Friday on Vidane TV. So be able to check that out on Facebook. And you can see Kyle kind of peeking down pit road. It's a tough decision to make here, Tim, as you're leading the race, but you really do need tires. You really do need fuel. Looks like he's not going to mess with it too much. He's going to come down pit road. So not necessarily the end of the night here for Kyle Young, because we saw this work out for Chad Coleman, the number 38, the very first race of this series, came down, topped off a lap after everybody else, had enough fuel to finish in the lead for the first green, white, checkered, not quite enough to finish the second as he ran out on turn number 2 on the very last lap, and well, unfortunately caused an accordion effect, but lining them up 2 by 2 at this point. Pace car turned the lights off. Wes Hogue down low. John Koch up on the top side.
And just a note for Kyle Young, no tires on that. Well, there is tires on that race car. He did not take new tires on that race car. He took fuel only on the number 94. So he will come back out on the racetrack and be scored outside the top 25, I do believe, as Kyle Young. Actually, no, 22nd the last time by. So he will get back onto the racetrack, rejoin the field with a full fuel load, I believe, by the looks of it. I think these drivers, they can't go 42 laps, so they're definitely going to have another pit stop under them this evening. So maybe Kyle being able to go a couple more laps compared to his compadres that are on the racetrack that did not come down pit road on that lap. So the two teammates starting up front, Wesley Hogue and Jonathan Goke, and lead this field of green. Mitchell Hunt, Jared Bolyard, and Brian Macklin. First time we've really talked about Macklin all night long. He scored in position number 5, started 27th. He was the last driver to lock himself in through single car qualifying. And first time we really talked about him, but he's got a teammate right there in E.J. O'Rourke. He's going to start on the outside of Brian Macklin in the 30.
A lot of big-time names up in the top 10 here at SIM500 Vidane Racing here on Vidane TV. Pretty exciting. The second race we've called here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. Chad Coleman won the very first race here this evening. The Tim's Corner Motorsports SummerSlam Part 2 here in the cold, cold month of December. But the lights are off in the pace car. He's going to dip on down to pit road, and we're going to wait for that green flag to come on out and get these guys racing one more time. Going to be coming across the line to complete lap number 18. Get these guys going on lap number 19. Still quite a ways here to go. 2/3 of the race left, and lots of time. Still got a green flag pit stop possibly to make here. Wes doing a great job slowing them way down, and you can see waiting till the very last minute to smash that hammer, smash that gas pedal, get that thing up through the gears. You can see side by side him and Jonathan Goke. Mitchell Hunt able to hold on, as is the Office Depot car, but the caution is going to come right back out as we've got trouble over there at the entrance of pit road.
It's the other pink meat, Kyle Casagrande, going around on the front straightaway to bring out the caution flag. And when we look back at the replay, Kyle Young had a great view of this, but that was the 7 all by his lonesome, Paul. Maybe was a little bit trigger happy.
What you're saying is Kyle Casagrande in that pretty pink race car was all by himself. We'll take a look at the replay. That's dedicated to Kevin England, our friend up here from Vidane TV. And taking a look at the instant replay, the number 7 car. There you see Kyle Casagrande, a little bit of no damage there, but yeah, Kyle spins the tires on the back end, spins it on around, gets the 70 involved, gives him a little bit of a shot, some damage on the right side of that car, so he's going to come down pit road, try and get that thing taken care of. Taking a look at the timing and scoring, looks like Mitchell Hunt just came off pit road. Nope, that's a timing and scoring glitch. So, tough break for Kyle Casagrande, but good avoidance there from Kyle Young. Kyle and Kyle show back there towards the back of the pack. Man, back up front, Wes Hogue still leading this thing.
Yeah, so that'll put us under caution for another 3 or 4 laps or so. A tough break as the caution flag just came out when the green flag came out. But we had that little ode to Kevin England. Kevin England can't do it very well, but I didn't think anybody could do it worse, but congratulations.
Yeah, I'm not a very good singer. I'm not a very good driver. I'm a halfway decent producer here at Vidane TV. I'm actually looking through the timing and scoring right now, trying to find where Kevin tied himself at. It actually looks like he's scored his 40th last car in the lead lap. So 127 car looks like just came down pit road. Still in the lead lap, still has a shot at this thing. Looks like he's been on pit road 2 or 3 times here. So a little bit of damage on the right side. See if we can't dial up here, Kevin England. It'll be good to talk to him. See if we can do some magic here. pull up the 127 car, Kevin England. Usually up here in the booth, down there in the race car this evening. How's the race going here, Kevin?
Oh, okay, except for pit road.
Yeah, we saw you just come back down pit road, coming off getting some service on that race car. What happened on pit road?
The car was clean. I went into pit road and I went to turn into my pit, got tagged, spun out, hit the wall. I did the cold trickle into the inside wall there, and then I had 40 seconds worth of damage to fix. So car's all set now, and I changed my tires by accident, so I should be good. I'm just going to kind of ride here and wait for attrition.
Currently running in the 28th position. Going to definitely be a battle of attrition, just a third of the way through this race so far, and well, it's about to be just about both of our bedtime here. It's getting close to midnight, so hopefully that doesn't play a factor into either of our races here tonight.
And this car is a handful. I got to tell you, coming off the corner, it just wants to go out to the fence, and it's really a challenge. Every lap, you're up on the wheel, just trying to keep the thing headed in the right direction. But I'm having a blast. I don't, I get to call the races, but I don't get to run them very often. And I'm just trying to be conservative, make sure I don't run anybody over here, and see what I can do to get to the finish.
Absolutely. Well, a third of the way down, 2/3 of the way to go. Good luck in the rest of the race here, Kevin.
Yeah, thanks.
Kevin England, the driver of the 127 car, usually up here in the booth here with myself and Tim. He and Wesley Hogue and Kyle Young, most of the Team Vidane out there on the track, doing a great job so far. Wes leading the race. Kevin is working his way towards the front. Kyle's back there in 19th place as well. A little bit of damage on both of those guys, but doing a pretty good job so far, I would think.
Well, up until that caution, you kind of had Vidane TV kind of bookending the field. You had Kevin in the back of the pack. You had Kyle, who's still in the middle of the pack, as you mentioned, 19th, and then Wes up in front. So still plenty of time to work, as Kevin said. He's having a blast, and we are too. 21 laps completed this next time by for Wes Hogue and Jonathan Goke, the teammate. So 1/3 distance through this race. Been a slow start, especially here with a caution flag on top of a caution flag, but we'll see what happens upcoming here.
Absolutely. We're going to take a quick opportunity, pay a couple quick bills here. We're going to come back for the restart. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm CTWE Wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent-A-Racecar, you can!
Visit www.rentaracecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Touchdown indeed. Good words from Rent-A-Racecar, the series sponsor here. The championship winner gets that gorgeous belt from Pro-Am Belts and the opportunity to run one of the Rent-A-Racecar street stocks there at Stafford Motor Speedway here in Connecticut. And you get the opportunity as well to race against Jared Bolliard, last year's champion, as we're doing a champion versus champion night at the track. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Wes Hogue, Jonathan Goke going to restart P1, P2 on the front row. Mitchell Hunt, Jared Bolliard, and Brian Macklin rounding out the top 5. Pace cars getting ready to duck on down to pit road there, Tim. Take us through this green.
Well, we still got another half a lap or so before they get back to the
do.
green flag. Yeah, we do. That was actually turn 2. So they're going to run down this back straightaway here. I don't think the pace car, Paul, is going to pull down here, but I've been wrong before.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. We're gonna have to talk to those LASIK people that did some surgery. Well, it looks like we're heading down to turn number 3 right now. So, got a few minutes. Take a quick beverage. Take a quick swig there of your Diet iRacing or whatever beverage you may very well have. As we're going to be coming to the green flag here, the Rent-A-Racecar 149 Talladega SuperSpeedway, here for the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Series, race number 4.
Field works through 3 and 4, getting ready to come back to the green flag. Wes Hogue, Jonathan Goke, Mitchell Hunt, Jared Bolliard, and Brian Macklin, your top 5. A little bit has changed, a couple of positions within the top 10 or so when we had that about 500 feet of racing. E.J. O'Rourke has fallen back a spot to position number 7, so he's in behind his teammate. Tommy Ryan in position number 8. Jimmy Coleman and Chad Cole, your top 10. And Stefan Marinick still there in position number 6 outside of row number 3. Wes Hogue bringing them down slow, and there he is on the throttle. Green flag flies. We are back underway. We'll complete lap number 22 right here as Gope goes up the racetrack trying to get in line with Wes Hogue, and there's EJ O'Rourke all the way down below the yellow line into corner number 1.
EJ O'Rourke, he's definitely fast, but he's definitely got his own way of making his way to the front. You can see him there in the Timmy Hill paint scheme, the Point.com machine, the 41 EJ O'Rourke, part of Timmy Hill Motorsports. I believe it's an esports team. I'm not entirely sure, but doing a great job. You can see Wes Hogue has dropped back quite a few positions. Jonathan Goke able to take over that P1 spot. He's getting pushed right now by 77 of Mitchell Hunt there in the, what is that, a Libra?
That is the Libra car running around this racetrack within the top 10 to the outs or the back bumper of the leader as they come by this time to complete lap number 23. Jonathan Goke pops up to the top of the leaderboard. Jared Bolliard now in third. In behind him, Marinik side by side with Wes Hogue. Brian Macklin flexing his muscle. Kevin Brown to the inside as they race side by side. Macklin may have got the fence at a corner number 2. I believe there might have been one more in behind him that may have slapped it too. They're 4 wide down into corner number 3.
Couple of cars hitting the wall on the outside there. We heard a lot of drivers talk about this car really getting light in the back end of it, heading down in the corner. They're going 240 miles an hour at each end of this racetrack, so definitely a handling issue, especially with some of these guys that have a few laps on their tires. We talked to Wes Hogue before the race. There you see Richard Beasley making it 3 wide, trying to get up to the 17th position, gets around the number 9 car of Bobby Wetzel. No harm, no foul, and he's trying to close in on the number 17 car as well of Chad Cole. You can see it there on your screen, but man, these guys are definitely starting to battle some of these poor tires or long-run tires, and the cars may very well start having handling issues here, which isn't something we normally see at Talladega Superspeedway.
You got multiple drivers on different agendas, especially in the back half of that pack. You get drivers that are damaged. You get drivers on fresh tires. You got drivers that, might have sped on pit road that had to go to the back of the pack. As they continue to race back here. We get one smoking the tires a little bit, going maybe a little too quick around the front end of this racetrack. Kevin Brown is now your leader. He's made the move past Goke. Marinik in second. Mitchell Hunt, Jared Bolliard, your top 5 the last time by. But how about the run by Kevin Brown? Was in the heat race. He started 30th all the way up to position number 1.
Kevin doing a great job, and it's one of those things we saw in the last race here, Tim, your race, the Tim's Corner Motorsports race. 2 drivers getting hooked up, getting all the way around the entire pack to get up towards the front. We saw it with the 88, the 22, the 88 actually making it into this race, doing a great job so far. Saw him up towards the front earlier on, but once 2 of these cars get hooked up, you really still have to be careful and make sure that you're not right on the back bumper and spin the guy in front of you out. But once we get a couple of guys that work really well together, really tough to get around a 2-car tango.
I've got my eye peeled on this battle back here with the 34 of Jason Netherly, and Jason was, I think, 20-something on this restart. He's already up into the top 10 after a couple laps. He's got the, it looks like Greg Snellgrove machine to the back bumper, Jimmy Coleman to the front bumper, and he's going to pick up one more as Jared Bolliard may have smacked the wall in the middle of 3 and 4, so the champ going to fall back a couple of spots. He's well outside the top 5, and Netherly going to move closer into the top 5. Great run for this 34 car.
Moving his way on up, you saw Jared Bolliard, the champ, just kind of pancake the outside wall. Really easy to do with these cars. Like we may mention, these guys are going 240 miles an hour going into the corners where they usually go about 200. And you can see Kevin Brown still leading Marinak up in the front, the 93 and the 21 car. Jonathan Goke currently running 3rd with Mitchell Hunt 4th and Jimmy Coleman right there in 5th. These guys are really starting to battle handling with these cars, Tim, as the tires are starting to wear down a little bit and it's kind of losing a little bit of grip, but they're still going the same speed heading into each end of this racetrack.
Well, we saw it with a guy like Jared Bolliard, our champion. He kind of stepped over that line, and that line's been a fine line of trying to keep it out of the wall and trying to keep it from skating up these big high banks. And you see the 21 of Marinik now trying to go to the outside that time, but I think that was the line right there. You talk about that fine line and stepping over it and getting close to that wall. I think Marinik may have almost stepped a toe over it because he was in the middle of the racetrack, maybe trying to let that car breathe a little bit on Kevin Brown, and ends up still in behind him and not able to make a move. There it is again. Up the hill it goes in the 21.
It's one of those things. He may very well be driving extra hard to try and get around the leader of Kevin Brown, but he may very well, like you made mention, Tim, trying to get that car to breathe. You can see holding 230, 231, 235, 6, 236 miles an hour heading on down into turn number 1 with a 2-car draft. You can bet that car is absolutely going to be running hot, and you'll be able to see he's going to keep pushing. He's going to try and work on him as much as he can, but he really needs to get some air to the front of that car to try and cool the motor down.
And we almost saw that 93 car in that last corner get a little bit light ahead of the 21, and that's all it really takes to knock the air off the back of that race car and send it around. But he's done a great job, has Kevin Brown, leading this race since he took that top spot just a handful of laps ago. He'll come by this time, complete lap number 30. We are halfway home in the Rent-A-Racecar 149. Marinik, Goke, Hunt, and Coleman, your top 5. I think Snellgrove may have got the wall about a lap ago off of turn number 2, but he maintains the top 10 spot, sitting in position number 8. Jarrett Boyer got the wall a few laps ago, sitting in position number 9, and Chad Coleman back there. They're having a little bit of a battle themselves, trying to figure out where they want to run. Coleman currently in 10th.
Previous race winner here a couple hours ago, the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Speedway SummerSlam Part 2 here at Talladega 2 Super Speedway. Chad Coleman won it, trying to get himself a Vidane TV sweatshirt from the from the brand new Teespring store that we just opened up. Check that out, teespring.com/store/Vidane TV. Pick yourself up a Vidane TV sweatshirt, t-shirt, face mask, coffee mug, really cool little championship decal. Let everybody know that you talk to, that you watch Vidane TV and you're entertained by some of the racing that we put on. And, be sure to check out our websites and all of our social media outlets for some exciting things coming up here, especially New Year's Eve. We're putting on a little bit of a jam fest here. Going to be doing some racing, some enduro racing, Crash for Cash Promotions going to be putting on an enduro. Tim's Corner Motorsports. Tim, I think we're putting something on, and a lot of stuff going on. Neps is putting on, New England, Pennsylvania iRacing Group. They're putting on a little bit of a show as well. So lots of stuff going on for New Year's Eve. Nobody else can go anywhere, it seems like, so be sure to join us over here at Vidane TV. We're going to have a blast. We're going to have a couple of ice-cold wobbly pops, as they call them, north of the wall here, Tim.
Might not be able to go anywhere except if you're Jonathan Goke, because you're going to the front of the field. Lead change up in front. Kevin Brown is going to lose a hole. He might take it back here. Here comes the 93 to the inside. Jonathan Goke going to lose the lead. Technically, he's not going to lead a lap, Paul. He almost got the wall off of corner number 3 on the entry. 3 wide at a corner number 4. And what was a lost lead for Kevin Brown is going to be the lead back, and he's going to have Jimmy Coleman from position number 4 on that last lap to second.
Jimmy Coleman moves his way up. We haven't really talked about him too much, mentioned his name a couple of times because he's been in the top 10, top 15 so far throughout the evening. Kevin Brown still leading. Jonathan Gope back down to 5th, and Wes Hogue it doesn't seem to be anywhere to be seen here in the top 10. Just taking a look through the timing and scoring, everybody's still single file here in the top 10, though.
And you look through this pack, we really don't have a distinct lead pack or second pack. We've got kind of 4 up in front. You got a couple stragglers out there in behind them. Back to Greg Snellgrove. Then Chad Coleman's about a second and a half behind the 22. And then you look back, and everybody's kind of single file for the most part, Paul. Back around Tommy Ryan and Daniel Falkingham and Brian Macklin. They're starting to mix it up a little bit. But other than that, there's really no 2 and 3 wide pack that we're used to seeing at Talladega. And a couple of cars, 4 or 5 cars running nose to tail, but you really don't have that major pack.
Yeah, we've had a little bit of a green flag run here, Tim. A couple, 5, 6, couple laps working on it. You can see the top 3 right now. Still pretty much right in with each other, but you can see just the gaps as we back the shot up just a little bit. You can see a car moving down pit road trying to get some service to that race car, but Kevin Brown still out front. A little bit of a close battle there between Jimmy Coleman and Mitchell Hunt, but it looks like they sort things out. Still single file, kind of logging laps at this point, making sure that they still want to be here in the end. Because you made mention earlier, Tim, you can't win the race if you're not in the race.
And especially with the way this race has gone, as long as you have a clean car, and especially maybe a clean right-hand side of the race car, You'll be fine. Battle for the lead one more time. Here comes Jimmy Coleman to the inside. Trying to go to the lead for the first time this evening. He's got Mitchell Hunt on his back bumper. Marinik trying to get back there as well. 4 cars going at it for the lead spot. It's led by Kevin Brown, but here comes the 11 all by himself on the inside. Not going to get the run, and Kevin Brown will maintain the lead and complete lap number 36.
Fatal 4-way fight up here for the lead between Kevin Brown, Jimmy Coleman, Mitchell Hunt, and Steven Marinak. Doing a great job trying to hold on there. You see Mitchell Hunt there on the outside of the number 77 trying to get around the number 21. Looks like he's got the position now heading down into turn number 3. Going to be able to clear that number 21 machine back to single file. And there you see Jonathan Goke starting to rejoin the picture, using the draft off of these guys as they're battling side by side to close himself back up in a lead pack, try and move himself into that number 1 spot.
We finally got ourselves a kind of a little bit of a pack back here, Paul, around 23rd place. Jeff Ryan, Richard Beasley, Gale Brooks, Matthew Baker, David Duke, Nick Codner, Thomas O'Leary. They're getting at it back here. This is their first real big, side by side. They were 3 wide a lap ago, but a lot of these cars, Paul, that are back here around 20th place, they're damaged. Richard Beasley, heavy damage to the right front corner. Codner's got a little bit of damage. Thomas O'Leary's been in a couple of walls here this evening. The cars are not handling well to begin with. They're definitely not handling well back here, but it's putting on a show.
Absolutely putting on a show there. You can see about 10, maybe 8 cars in that little bit of a pack. But out front of them, before all them, the number 127, Kevin England. Kevin doing a great job so far here for, not bad for a commentary guy. See a little bit of damage on that race car, currently running in the 21st position. Vidane TV's very own commentary guy started 20th here tonight, qualified his way in on time, so he didn't have to run through the heat races. Currently running in that 21st position. Take a look at another Vidane TV commentary guy as well. He's actually my vice president and a good friend of mine, Wes Hogue, number 20 Exxon machine, currently running 19th. Looks like he's going to lose that, though, from the outside. Drop him back down to 20th as he gets passed by Chad Cole. And taking a look at the timing and scoring for Kyle Young, currently P30. He led that 1 lap under caution, Tim. Started 42nd, made his way halfway up through the field. Currently running in 30th towards the back of the pack. Still in the lead lap, but not quite up towards the front where he usually is, Tim.
And the battle up front continues to be Mitchell Hunt and Kevin Brown. And Mitchell Hunt's had a couple of runs in that Libra car, but hasn't been able to really make the move. And I don't really know if he really wants to make the move right now and be up front. Kevin Brown controlling this race. I think he's kind of content with doing that. They're closing in Jonathan Goke, Jimmy Coleman as well. So 4 or 5 cars going at it for this lead position, led by Kevin Brown. Mitchell Hunt will get that run, but he hasn't put it anywhere these last couple of attempts that he's had to get up to that lead car on the 93 as we complete lap number 40.
2/3 in the bank, 1/3 to go. Caution flag comes out just as we say it. There you can see it. The Taco Bell machine is smushed. 78 machine there of David Duke having some problems. We'll pull up the instant replay brought to you by the very brand new Teespring store for Vidane TV. Get yourself a hoodie, a t-shirt, a face mask, a mug, or a cool little championship decal over there at teespring.com/stores/Vidane TV. I'm backing up the old instant replay right now to find out what squished that crunch wrap machine. And we'll take a look. The number 78 we're going to focus in on, and we're going to pull up the chopper view, get a little bit of overhead insight to see what went down. You can see 78's on the outside, the 08 is on the inside, car on the wall, the 48. He gets in it with Codner. They kind of pancake each other. Codner comes back up the track, collects the Taco Bell number 78, also collects the number 5 car as well. So that's a tough break for Matthew Baker. That's the Quaker State machine we saw earlier. There you see Kyle Young driving by as well. So gonna see a lot of action here on pit road here, Tim. I don't think the pit window is more than 30 laps, so I think a lot of guys are going to come down, top off the old fuel cell, get some tires if they can, and slap the hell out of the fenders with some hammers.
Yeah, this should be the final pit stop of the evening, I would think, even if we do get a green-white checker finish, I think they're still going to be good on fuel as long as they come down and pack it now. But tough break for Nick Codner. Tough break for those drivers that were running around that pack and trying to maintain what they can. But we're going to get ready to see some drivers come down pit road here as the pace car will come by this time, collect the field down that straightaway, and we're getting ready to see this field come down onto pit road. There's some lap cars ahead of the leaders, and for the most part, it looks like these leaders are coming down.
Yes, sir. Here they come. Every single driver on the lead lap looks like they're coming down pit road, get some kind of service on the race car.
Kyle Casagrande around on the front straightaway.
Yeah, Kyle was on the tail end of the lead lap trying to get that lead lap back. Not really sure why he's pointing in the wrong direction there. Maybe he saw a hot dog or some kind of wrapper on the front stretch. But man, everybody down pit road at this point. Some kind of service happening right now, and looks like some more issues for Kyle Casagrande there. But race off pit road, looks like Kevin Brown wins it. Looks like the 26, Jose Gonzalez, Mitchell Hunt, and the rest of the pack coming back down. A lot of drivers coming down, taking 4 tires here, Tim, to get themselves back onto the lead lap.
Yeah, I was kind of taking a look at the Kyle Casagrande situation there on the front straightaway. Looks like he tried to get on the gas, and we had a car coming around for maybe the free pass, get into him. At full song. So tough break for Van der Voorste, who ran well in the heat race, and it just hasn't been Kyle Casagrande's night. It's plain and simple as the field rejoins down the back straightaway behind the pace car.
Yeah, tough break for Kyle Casagrande. He was running strong here a few weeks ago here in the SuperSpeedway Series, trying to find a little bit of luck, but at this point, looks like we may very well this could be the last pit stop if we don't have another caution, but we got a couple of laps to make that happen. Going to take a quick break here, pay a couple of bills. We'll be right back for the end of this race.
Hey, I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent-A-Racecar, you can!
Visit www.rent-a-racecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
Welcome back to SIM500 in the Vidane SuperSpeedway Series presented by Rent-A-Racecar. This is the Rent-A-Racecar 149, and closing in on what will be a 16-lap dash to the finish. Kevin Brown is your leader. Jose Gonzalez, Mitchell Hunt, Jonathan Goch, Stefan Marinik, your top 5. Jimmy Coleman, Greg Snellgrove, Chad Coleman, Brian Abbott, and Jared Bulliard, your top 10, as we'll get ready to go green flag racing this next time by. And Paul, we saw a good stretch of green flag run there. We'll see what happens when we throw the green flag this time and see if these guys can get single file, or we start to see the intensity ramp up a little bit.
Pace car dips off down onto pit road, makes that left-hand turn, kind of a soft left-hand turn. Going to leave it into the hands of driver Kevin Brown, the number 93 machine leading. The 26, Jose Gonzalez on the outside. Mitchell Hunt and Jonathan Goke in row number 2. Hits the hammer, does the 93 of Kevin Brown. Gets a fantastic restart. Jonathan Goke wiggles the tires just a little bit. Loses the back end of that race car. Give the lead to the 93. Mitchell Hunt P2. Marinac comfortably in that P3 position, Tim.
And then it's a battle back here for position number 4. Greg Snellgrove poking the nose to the inside, trying to go 3 wide. He's got Chad Coleman on his back bumper. Coleman goes to the middle groove and tries to work with Jose Gonzalez, the 24, to the outside of Jonathan Goke. Will maintain that position. Jared Bolliard to the outside. He's now got help from Coleman. It's the 26 of Gonzalez falling back.
Falling back, you can see still 3 wide, the 26 in the middle. Here comes E.J. O'Rourke on the outside. Caution flag going to fly at the speedway. See if we can't pull up what went down there as we're watching this mid-pack race here.
Well, let's just say I don't think Kevin England was all by himself. He got involved in this one. He wasn't the reason for the caution. Happened ahead of him, but it's Thomas O'Leary, the 08 car, and Paul ahead of him. Might have been a little bit of contact between Laurie and Freeze to bring up the yellow.
Pulling up the instant replay here again, brought to you by the Vidane TV Teespring store. We'll give it to you live. We're going to take a look at Kevin England. You can see back here, minding his P's and Q's, if you will. We'll actually ride on board with Kevin England. You can see there's smoke up front, and unfortunately gets involved with the car right outside of him. That kind of pushes him up into the wall. Not quite the call for the caution, but you can see the couple of cars that he goes by right there, smoking, black smoke coming out of those race cars. We'll back that up, see if we can figure out who exactly that was.
Yeah, I think it starts around the 25 car is the initial point of contact, and then it kind of trickles all the way back to those that were running around the back of the pack like Kevin England was, just, trying to mind his P's and Q's all by himself. But what happened to bring out the yellow down in 3?
There we go. We can see the 25 car riding on the outside gets caught up with a car that kind of moved in a little bit too quick, and immediately as soon as that wreck started happening, it looks like actually E.J. O'Rourke may very well have been involved in that as well. We see a point car getting caught up in that. So tough break for that. A lot of black smoke coming out of the back of that race car. Looks like he may very well be done for the evening. But at this point, going to hand the lead over to the number 77 of Mitchell Hunt.
And with a lot of these cars being vulnerable as they have been with damage, especially to the right-hand side, some of these cars getting up and slapping that outside wall, I think we're going to start to see some of these drivers fall out of this race a little bit, Paul, with the attrition starting to pile up with what will be a restart with about 11 laps or so to go.
It's always weird hearing the word perseverance when it's related to sim racing, but absolutely the case here tonight. And both of these twin Talladega races here on Vidane TV. This is race number 2 on the night, the Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Series, brought to you by SIM500. The Rent-A-Racecar 149. Earlier on tonight, we had Chad Coleman actually came home victorious in the Tim's Corner Motorsports SuperSpeedway SummerSlam Part 2, and there you can see the 5 car, the Quaker State Machine, moving on around the pack to get that lucky dog get back on the lead lap here, Tim.
And Chad Coleman still has an opportunity to win back-to-back, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he went through a heat race in the first race, came back to win the race. This race, he went through a heat race, had to win heat race number 2 tonight to get into this Rent-A-Racecar 149, and now he currently runs in 7th. That left side of that race car looks pretty pristine. I think the right-hand side of the race car looks pretty good too. So Chad's got what looks to be a pretty clean piece. And same can't be said for some of these drivers that are running around him right now. You look at the 82 back there. I think he's got one little scuff maybe on the left-hand side. Greg Snellgrove in behind him has got a little poke in the rear end. There's some cars that aren't exactly clean right now. I think Chad Coleman might have something for him here at the end of this race, and he's still got plenty of laps to do it, and from position number 7, he might have the opportunity to steal another one away here.
Usually the case for Chad Coleman, likes to kind of flex early on, move his way up towards the front of the pack if he can, and we'll see who he works good with here tonight. Works very well with E.J. O'Rourke back in that last race, the Tim's Corner Motorsports race, but Going to be cool to see. We've seen Chad kind of hang back. We've seen him really dive towards the front and try and hold on to that front spot and avoid the competition entirely. But and we've also seen him run out of gas on the last lap on the second green-white checkered. So going to be cool to see here at the very end of the race car. Rent-A-Racecar 149 here on Vidane TV. You're going to have to watch the whole race to find out what happens at the end.
And this thing is far from over. We'll come by this time and have 13 laps to go. We should get the 1 to go here, so we'll restart with 12 laps remaining. And, you know, it's coming down to go time, Paul, but we'll see if these guys can get in a little bit of a rhythm and get a couple of green flag laps in here and try to separate the men from the boys, per se, up in front and see who will take this one away as the field will double up. Mitchell Hunt, Kevin Brown up in front.
Anything can happen here on these super speedway races, especially here at Talladega Super Speedway in Alabama. We've seen it happen here before this season and many of the previous seasons before at Vidane Racing and all the different broadcast networks throughout the years. Web Racing Network, LSR TV, OLR TV, RLM TV, all you guys, FSR TV, Full Throttle TV. Everybody that's pretty much put us in the position we're in today to call these races, and man, having a lot of fun putting on some good shows here. And we can see right now Mitchell Hunt leading them down, Kevin Brown on the outside, lined up 2 by 2 all the way through this pack. A lot of cars still on the lead lap. You can pretty much give the win to any of these 34 cars that are on the lead lap here, Tim.
Yeah, and we talked about attrition and it's starting to pile up, but there's still 37, I believe, on this racetrack right now. A couple of drivers sitting down on pit road, but Kevin retired after that last caution flag. I think Jimmy North is still sitting on pit road, so there's at least 35, 36 cars still on this racetrack, 34 on the lead lap, to try to take away a victory here this evening in the Rent-A-Racecar 149, round number 4 of the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series, as they'll come by this time at corner number 4, and we'll get to see some more green flag competition. We'll have 12 laps to go when we take the green.
Pace car bringing them around turns 3, coming out of turn number 4. All the fans on their feet. The iRacing pace car, Mustang pace car, is going to come down pit road, leave it into the hands of Mitchell Hunt. Going to bring him slowly down to that checkered line there, the start-finish line. Pretty much restart anywhere he wants outside of that pit road box. And he's going to take him down nice and slow all the way down the front stretch. And you can see everybody lined up 2 by 2, waiting inside the zone. There he goes. Green flag in the air, hammer down on the throttle of the inside of the number 77 car. Going to move on down into turn number 1. Going to have the lead by about 2 car lengths. Check that, about a bumper, as the 93 of Kevin Brown moves in front of the number 21 of Stephen Marinac.
They were jockeying for position about mid-pack on that restart, but they got it all squared away. Here comes Marinac taking a look to the inside. Kevin Brown to the outside, trying to make a power move by himself. Take away the lead from Mitchell Hunt. Hunt will have that advantage at low line. Down into corner number 3, he will take that lead back. Kevin Brown still on the outside, but he's got Marinac now to the inside as they try to battle for the second place position. Jonathan Goke now puts his car to the inside. Jarrett Bulliard on the outside, and here comes Chad Coleman beginning to make a move.
Chad Coleman working his way into the top 10 very, very quickly. And you can see right now moving his way. He's the 4th car on the inside, that number 38 unsponsored red, white, and black machine. Doing a great job. You can see he's really got a handle on the race car, holds that thing all the way down in the yellow line right behind the number 11 car right now. Trying to push him back up towards the lead, as you can see Jonathan Goke heading down on the inside of the number 21 machine of Marinac, but a caution comes out towards the back of the pack here, Tim.
Yeah, field is slow at the back, but everybody, I believe, is still somewhat straight. But the yellow flag will indeed fly. Pace car back out, and we'll have a restart with less than 10 laps remaining.
Not quite seeing where the caution is, so it gives us an opportunity. Pay a bill or two. We're going to take a look at some of our sponsors. We're going to be coming right back. Got to restart with less than 10 to go. Tim already said it. Don't miss anything. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent-A-Racecar, you can!
Visit www.rent-a-racecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Back here for the Rent-A-Racecar 149 under caution once again here at Talladega SuperSpeedway. Under caution again, we're going to take a look at the number 78 car on this replay from the chopper. You can see 26 on down low racing here for 25th position. 26 car kind of moves up the track just a little bit, comes across the nose of the number 78 car, smashes again that Taco Bell machine. 26 comes up, takes a shot at him, and comes across the nose of the 08 as he wrecks. And tough break for those guys. A lot of hard hits, a lot of racing, racing a little bit on the dirty side there, but still up front is going to be Steven Marinac that's holding on to the lead here, Tim.
So the field will get in behind the pace car once again, and a restart with less than 10 laps to go, probably closer to 5 laps to go when we go back to green flag competition. Marinac has the lead, took the lead on that restart, and Jonathan Goke, Mitchell Hunt, Jimmy Coleman, Kevin Brown will be your top 5. Chad Coleman sitting back in position number 6, Jared Bulliard, Greg Snellgrove, and there's a name we haven't talked a whole lot about in the last 20 to 30 laps or so. Wes Hogue is sitting back in 9th with Chad Cole in position number 10.
A lot of powerhouse names there in the top 10. Taking a look, 11th place, Brian Abbott, E.J. O'Rourke, 12th, Aaron Smith, Jason Barum, Daniel Falkingham, Bobby Wetzel, Tommy Ryan, Kyle Young, Gail Brooks, Charles Johnson, the top 20. A lot of big names in this field here, Tim, and man, less than 10 laps to go. We got another caution here. We got a couple of laps to kind of get these guys to feel everything out, and we'll see if we can't maybe interview one of those top drivers and talk to Jonathan Goke in the 24 machine. John, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. What's up, Paul?
Hey, man, we see you running up in the top 5. You've been doing a great job, and noticed that made mention to everybody else here watching here on Vidane TV. You were in the top 5 of points last season as well. So consistency is the key. You start on the pole, and you're currently in the 2nd spot. You got anything for the win here tonight?
Yeah, I mean, these cars, they are a handful. It's like the 87 on steroids. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun wheeling it. I mean, I didn't take my first set of tires till after that caution after halfway, so that was a lot of fun. So now I think with everybody on fresh tires with a seven lap run, it's going to be pretty insane. So we'll see if I have anything for Stephen and Mitchell.
Awesome. Well, good luck. We got a couple laps to go here on what could be the possible final restart. Good luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you on the podium.
Yep. Thanks, Paul.
Jonathan Goke currently running 2nd here in the Rent-A-Racecar 149, trying to get himself around the number 21 of Steven Marinac, who's going to choose the inside line. The lights are off here, Tim, on that iRacing Mustang pace car. Time to go racing one more time again.
And we've had 3 different winners this season in 3 races. Marinac's gone to victory lane, Gabe Butler's gone to victory lane, and I believe the 41 of E.J. O'Rourke got a win as well. Gabe running back in 28th right now. E.J. O'Rourke faring a little bit better, but sitting in position number 12. So Marinac has an opportunity to try to become the first repeat winner of the season, but said it on the last restart. We had 34 drivers on the lead lap on the last restart. Still have 34 drivers on the lead lap on this restart, though. Thomas O'Leary, David Duke, 33rd and 34th. They're going to catch the rear of the field, but heavy damage from that last wreck. So to put them a little bit behind the 8 ball, but Marinac and Goke, your top 2, going to try to pick away this win for themselves. Mitchell Hunt, Jimmy Coleman, Kevin Brown, top 5. Lights off atop the pace car, running down the back straightaway. We'll see if this is the final restart of the night, see if we can go green, or if we have at least one more caution to slow this field down.
Everybody lined up, bumper to bumper, door to door, all the way through the field. Less than 10 laps to go on this restart. Could very well be the final restart, but we do have opportunities at a green-white checkered. We've seen some crazy stuff happen here on Vidane TV in this very series, the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Series, going for that very cool, very awesome, very amazing custom championship wrestling style belt from Pro-Am Belts. Check them out at proambelts.com. But that pace car, that Mustang, that iRacing car is going to dip on down, turn left, head down pit road. He's going to grab himself a corn dog and a drink because it might be the last time we see that pace car here tonight. 21 car chose the inside. He's going to bring us down to the restart. Nice and slow, as we know. Talladega, everybody tells the story every single time. They wanted to sell some seats down there in turn number 1, so they put the start-finish line almost down there in turn number 1. Going to restart, green flags in the air. Great start from the number 21, Stephen Marinak. About 2 car lengths over Jonathan Goke, who's still on the outside. Mitchell Hunt down on the inside, trying to close that gap as they head into turn number 1.
Hunt got a good enough restart to take position number 2 away from Goke, and now Goke falls into line in a third. Jimmy Coleman in fourth, and Chad Coleman trying to take it away from Kevin Brown down the back straightaway. Jimmy Coleman hops up to the outside to try to make that outside line work. He's got Chad Coleman in tow. Greg Snellgrove, a part of this pack, as they dive it down into corner number 3, and it's single file for your top 5.
Single file for the top 5, but still a triple threat match right now between Chad Coleman, the number 22 machine, as well of Greg Snellgrove, and the champ Jarrett Bolliard in the 79 machine. There you see Wes Hogue working with Jarrett Bolliard. Those guys are hooked up. Those bumpers are lined up, trying to work their way up towards the front. And you can see right now the front pack is still single file. But if you can get those 2 cars to work on the outside line, watch those guys to be a factor here with the last 5 laps to come here, Tim.
Mitchell Hunt has the lead, but the battle is in behind them as Marinak tried to go to the inside of Goke, and Goke kind of made that move to the inside to prevent the forward momentum of the 21. And now Kevin Brown hopping to the outside, trying to take that final podium position. And where did Greg Snellgrove come from? Snellgrove trying to pick up a top 5 run here in his SIM500 debut as he goes to the inside. There goes Kevin Brown to the upside, trying to take 3rd place away. Top 2 still on that inside line, led by Mitchell Hunt as they come out of corner number 2 and down the back straightaway.
Here they come, Tim. Jared Bolliard, Rowdy Wesley Hogue made their way into the outside line, trying to pick apart those drivers. You can see the 21 goes way up high, giving the lead. Mitchell Hunt, Jonathan Goke still in second. Jared Bolliard, Wes Hogue working on the outside behind the number 11 car of Jimmy Cole in that Mountain Dew machine, trying to get up front. 5 laps to go, coming across the stripe. 4 laps to go here in the Rent-A-Racecar 149.
Tommy Ryan scraped the wall. Caution flag will fly as it looked like Jonathan Goke was about to take that spot away from Mitchell Hunt, but the caution flag will save that battle. Caution wasn't Tommy Ryan. I know Tommy hit the wall, but I think it happened a little bit in behind him to bring out the yellow flag. I see the 72 slow in the infield. What else are you seeing?
Looks like the 62 of John Wilco caught himself a little bit out of shape here in the gray and red machine. You can see he's riding down low and gets a little bit of contact there from Codner. The 54 machine gets him sent around and shoots him onto the outside wall. Pretty big hit there. Doesn't look like there's any black smoke coming out of that car, so he may very well be able to just grab a gear and get on going. But you can see a lot of right side damage, a little bit of left side damage there as well, and probably going to jack up the clearance too going through the grass in the infield there, Tim.
And this is going to bring us to a green-white checker finish of this one, I do believe, as the field will slow up to get the pace car as they work through corners 3 and 4. Here comes the pace car in behind the field, and we'll collect them out of the corner. Mitchell Hunt is your leader, but Jonathan Goke looked like he was going to make that move, and there was a couple of moves that those drivers have made in behind Mitchell Hunt to try to position themselves to take away a victory, and they're going to have one more opportunity at least to do it here as Mitchell Hunt will collect the pace car behind him and come by and complete lap number 57 on the racetrack.
Just take a look at this top 10 we've got right now for this restart here, Tim. Mitchell Hunt leading, Jonathan Goke on the outside in the second position. Stephen Marinak, we've seen he's been strong all night long. Kevin Brown led a bunch of laps earlier on. Jimmy Coleman's been in the top 10 all night. Greg Snellgrove ran awesome in the Tim's Corner Motorsports race with his teammate, the 88 machine there, but unfortunately got caught up in a wreck. He's doing great. He's in the 6th position. The champ is here, P7 79 car of Jared Bolliard, and he's still hooked up with Chad Coleman, Daniel Falkingham, and Wes Hogue. Top 10 currently as they run here in the Rent-A-Racecar 149 here for the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Series. Again, this is race number 4. at Talladega Superspeedway. This is an absolute powerhouse top 10. Still a lot of strong drivers towards the back. Brian Macklin still running 14th. Kyle Young running 16th. EJ O'Rourke 17th. And Tommy Ryan back there in the 20th position. And man, oh man, this absolutely has the opportunity to be big here, Tim.
Yeah, you don't want to rely on a quote-unquote good point night per se, but for some of these drivers that are outside the top 10, one small little slip up here on a green-white checker could mean the difference between you finishing, 15th or 20th to finishing potentially in the top 10, depending where that mistake could come from. So you really got to keep your head up and make sure you dodge anything that happens here on these late laps and pick up what you can and, potentially move yourself a little bit closer to the front when it comes to the point standings. But talk about those wins being key, and guys like Mitchell Hunt, Jonathan Goke trying to pick up their first wins of the season. Kevin Brown, Jimmy Coleman, Greg Snellgrove in his first start of the season back in 7th place. So there's some drivers that are looking for that key first win to try to take a little bit of this pressure off heading towards what would be the playoffs or the chase.
Yeah, and talking to current points leader Wes Hogue throughout the week, he made mention he's the points leader right now, but he may very well get Kevin Harvick, as we've got 8 races before the first championship bracket gets closed in. We're going to take basically the 8 winners. If there's 8 winners and the points leader at the time doesn't win a race, that points leader doesn't even make it into the championship 8 at that point. You win, you're in here at SIM500. So Wes doing a great job holding on to the top 10, but he knows he absolutely needs to get a win this season. He was strong. He's led a couple of laps earlier on, and he's got a lot of teammates up there in the top 10, top 15. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see if he can come home with the win, but he's going to have to get around Mitchell Hunt and his teammate and Jonathan Goke there too in the number 24 machine.
And you talk about the different diverse race cars and racetracks switching back and forth from, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, next week is the trucks at Daytona. So we go from the Cup car with no restrictor plate at Talladega to the truck at Daytona. And then you look on down the line of those obviously the race tracks being Daytona, Talladega, iRacing, SuperSpeedway, between the Legacy and the regular version of Daytona. But you put yourself in a position to try to win one of these things. You might not have that shot later on this season. So we might see some moves being thrown here that might not usually be done on the first of potentially 2 attempts at a green-white checker finish. Still plenty of time, so there's no time limit to push right now, but you want to make sure that you put yourself in a position to win this thing. Green-white checker attempt number 1. If you're Mitchell Hunt, you want to get a good restart, but not too good of a restart for those guys to get a run on you.
Bringing them down the backstretch nice and slow here at pace speed 65, 70 miles an hour right in there. Mitchell Hunt on the inside chooses to restart there with Jonathan Goke on the outside. And man, oh man, we've got 8 races. And once we hit those 8 races, Tim, we're taking the 8 race winners. If there's any repeat winners, then we'll take the guys that have the points positions at that point. Currently, right now, the points leader is Wes Hogue coming into race number 4 here. But again, if we get 8 different race winners and Wes doesn't win a race, doesn't technically make the championship 8. And at that point, we run 2 more races to break it down to 4, the championship 4, who are going to race at the iRacing SuperSpeedway that just came out yesterday here on the iRacing simulation. So lots of cool stuff to look forward to. The lights are off in the pace car coming out of turn number 4. Bring us home. Well, bring us to the green flag of the first green-white checkered.
So if you're Wes Hogue, you're sitting back in position number 10 or so. If you can't win it, Meredith might be the next best thing, because that would put him with 2 victories, guaranteeing at least one person in on championship points, but he's got to come from 3rd. It's Mitchell Hunt and Jonathan Goke up in front. This is green-white checker attempt number 1 for the Rent-A-Racecar 149, round number 4 of the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series. The Libra bringing it down slow, waiting to see that 77 come back to life. There it is right there. Green flag flies. We are back underway for what could be the first attempt at a green-white checker. Mitchell Hunt will lead Jonathan Goke down towards corner number 1.
Chad Coleman with a big move from the outside all the way down to the low side of the racetrack, moves himself into 6th position right there behind the number 22 of Greg Snellgrove. Caution flag comes out. We are not done. Going to be another green-white checkered attempt here. We'll take a look and see what brought out the caution.
I could be wrong, but I think we wrecked for 25th again. And I could be wrong, but I think it was probably the two same cars that just wrecked for 25th about 2 cautions. 78 being one of them as we queue up the Teespring Vidane store replay. And it's the 78-26 again, and I think this might end one of their nights at least.
Yep, pulling it up again. You made mention, run there, 25th to 28th. You can see both cars all sorts of smashed up, and not entirely sure what the deal was. It looks like a little bit of contact between the 76 and the 26 again, crunching up the crunch wrap again, and there you see the red and black car getting spun around. That's not entirely sure what number that was, but couple of drivers back here towards the back of the pack, trying to get the most they can, but unfortunately caused a few wrecked race cars there. You can see a bunch of right front fenders kind of kick themselves in there.
And I think that kind of started on the restart. Kevin England spun the tires. Codner goes down low, and I think everybody's just trying to avoid. And I think the 60 car might have, I don't want to say put the parking brake on, but I think that's kind of what sparked that a little bit. But again, we're battling for 25th, coming to a green-white checker finish. So the good news is that if they do it again, Paul, that ends the race, because this is green-white checker attempt number 2. But Mitchell Hunt, Jonathan Goh, you know they want to battle it out up front and go green-white checker and get all of these final 2 laps in.
Absolutely, and the guys towards the back of the top 10, Chad Coleman running 6th, Jarrett Bolliard, the champ, running 7th, Wes Hogue, Daniel Falkingham, Aaron Smith in the top 10, rounding out the top 10. Those guys all wanted to go green because it gives them a little bit more opportunity to move forward, especially with the 20 and the 79 of Jarrett Bolliard able to work together to see if they can get in the right lane. So Mitchell Hunt's going to lead them to the second green-white checkered. We're going to see what we can do here under caution. But I'm going to take this last opportunity, pay a couple more bills, talk to some of the sponsors back right here for the finish of the Rent-A-Racecar 149.
Have you seen my kick-ass subscription box anywhere? Oh, there it is.
Just enough time there to crack open a black and purple bag of that teriyaki flavored kick-ass beef jerky and get you a handful. We got the second green-white checkered coming up here at Talladega SuperSpeedway, the SIM500 Vidane Racing SuperSpeedway Series here for the Rent-A-Racecar 149. Mitchell Hunt currently your leader in that Libra paint scheme. Jonathan Goch second. Stephen Marinac is currently in third. Kevin Brown fourth. Greg Snellgrove in the 5th position. Tim, we got one heck of a restart on our hands here. Are they going to be able to keep it clean in the back? Are we going to be able to keep it clean up front? Who knows? We still got the lights on in the pace car.
Yeah, we got a couple more laps before we go green flag racing one more time, but we saw that last restart didn't get very far, but we had a couple of drivers pick up a couple of spots. Wes Hogue is now in position number 8. You got Daniel Falkingham in the top 10. I don't know if we've talked about Aaron Smith the second all night long. Sitting in position number 10, that bright yellow number 70 car has made his way into the top 10 after starting 22nd. And then there's some drivers in behind them that are trying to salvage what they can for points. Guys like E.J. O'Rourke sitting in position number 15. Brian Macklin is sitting in 12th. Field has doubled up down the front straightaway. So next time by, we'll go green. Will be the final green-white checker attempt. If we don't get back to the white flag before the caution flag flies again, that race will field will be frozen and the race will be official. So it's time to crack open a cold one and see what happens here.
Tim Terry over there cracking open a diet iRacing, as it were, and you can see the top 10, a lot of top 5 points right. For Wes Hogue is the points leader, Bobby Wetzel in second, Aaron Smith third, Tommy Ryan fourth, and Kevin Brown top 5 in the point standings. You can see almost all of those drivers, if not all of those drivers, in the top 10. Man, the cream always rises to the crop here at iRacing. Coming on to the back stretch one more time to grip that steering wheel to make sure the pedals are going to stick to the floor and really make sure that you're focused looking at the front windshield of these simulated race cars. Going to be one hell of a restart here, Tim. Hopefully we can keep it clean all the way through here and get a couple of laps of green to finish this race under the green flag conditions.
And that's really what you want to see here to get these guys a green-white checker attempt to battle it out for the win. Will we have a fourth different winner this season, or will we have a repeat winner in Marinik in the 21? And you know, you look back to EJ O'Rourke, he's got a ways to go to get a second win in just 2 laps. He sits 15th, and Gabe Butler has a deeper hole in 21st. So if we're going to have a repeat winner in race number 4 of this season, it's going to come from row number 2 on this restart. If not, we're going to see a fourth different winner in as many races for this SIM500 Vidane Super Speedway Series. Pace car about to dip off here. Paul, who do you got to win this thing?
I'm going to go with the number 24, Jonathan Goke. He's always consistent, he's always fast, and he's almost always up front. Who do you got, Tim?
You know what? Give me a guy like Chad Coleman sitting back in position number 6. If this race goes 2 laps green, he'll find a way to win this one like he did the last. But it's going to be hard to beat the Libra. Mitchell Hunt is in command of this field. This is the final green-white checker attempt for the Rent-A-Racecar 149, round number 4 of the Vidane SIM500 Super Speedway Series. Hunt bringing him down slow, getting ready to punch that loud pedal. He's got Marinik on the back bumper. There he goes. Green flag flies, and Marinik gets a great start. Jonathan Goke way up to that outside, and Paul trying to get that run that he needs to try to catapult his way to a victory, but he's about to fall to third because here comes Kevin Brown.
Kevin Brown moving that purple and black machine up into the 3rd spot. Chad Coleman following him through the 4th position, moving his way up front. Stephen Marinik, the number 21 machine, moving on the outside of moving on the outside of the leader. Coming back to the white flag, Mitchell Hunt down low, still holding on to it. 2nd place is going to be between Jonathan Goke and Stephen Marinik side by side.
Kevin Brown trying to get that run to the inside, trying to get 2nd place. Coleman right in behind him. Bolliard sideways in behind. We stay green. We get the white flag. Last lap, Kevin Brown in the back bumper of Mitchell Hunt. Mitchell Hunt trying to lock down a victory. 1-8 run. He gets down into corner number 1, and he gets about a car length away. They're 3 wide in behind, but it's all Mitchell Hunt.
Mitchell Hunt doing a great job bouncing back and forth. Car spun around. Couple of cars back to the inside end wall. Not going to affect us up front. We're going to race them back to the checkered flag. There you see the 93. Kevin Brown to the bottom side. Mitchell Hunt in the middle. Stevenak up top. Goke on the outside. Hits the wall. Chad Coleman 2nd. 3 wide for the lead here, Tim, coming out of turn number 4.
They reckon behind for 5th, but Mitchell Hunt holds that lead on the outside. Kevin Brown has had a great run. Can he get it to the stripe? Checkered flag, and it's going to be Mitchell Hunt taking the victory. Kevin Brown comes home in 2nd, and Marinik barely for 3rd over Chad Coleman. And Chad Cole, your top 5, but Mitchell Hunt dominated the race late, was able to hold on and take the checkered flag in the Rent-A-Racecar 149.
Lieber doing a great job of winning here for the first time on Vidane TV. Going to be great to talk to him post-race. Kevin Brown, there you see it on your screen right now with the top 10 finishers. Finishes 2nd. Stephen Marinik, strong all day, finishes 3rd. Chad Coleman 4th. Chad Cole 5th. Daniel Falkingham in the number 6 position. Gail Brooks, Bobby Wetzel, Tommy Ryan, and Jimmy Coleman rounding out the top 10.
You're looking at the 2nd page. Jason Netherly had a great run early. Comes home in 11th. Jason Barham, Jarrett Bolliard, Wes Hogue, Aaron Smith, EJ O'Rourke, Jonathan Goke, Nick Codner top 20 run. Gabe Butler and Raymond Rittenauer the 2nd. Complete your top 20.
Going through the rest of the field, you can see it right now. Matthew Baker, John Wilco, Brian Macklin. Uncharacteristic finish there. 23rd for Brian Macklin, the number 30 car. Matt Zaccardo in the 60. He finishes 24th. Jim Brooks, Kevin England, our very own, finishes 26th. Travis Termeyer in the 27th spot. David Duke, Kyle Young, again, another one of our Vidane TV guys finishing 29th. Thomas O'Leary finishes 30th. And rounding out the rest of the field, Richard Beasley, Brian Abbott, Charles Johnson, Greg Snowgrove, Jeff Ryan, Jose Gonzalez, Jimmy North, Eric Laurie, Kevin Fries, and Kyle Casagrande.
And then the final couple at the back, Ralph Vandervorst, Tanton Woolridge, and Jason Goss complete your field. So Mitchell Hunt goes to victory lane for the first time this season in the Vidane SIM500 SuperSpeedway Series. And we will be back in just a few moments' time and chat with our winner, Mitchell Hunt. Don't go away.
Hey, I'm CTWE wrestler The Mac.
And I'm Showtime Stevie Stamos.
Have you ever dreamed of owning your own race car and taking it out for a test drive? Well, thanks to our friends at Rent-A-Racecar, you can!
Visit www.rent-a-racecarne.com for all the details on how you can take one of these babies out to Stafford Motor Speedway. We'll see you at the races.
Touchdown!
Welcome back to Vidane TV. Your winner in round number 4 of the Vidane TV and SIM500 SuperSpeedway Series is Mitchell Hunt. Mitchell, the talk had been all night that this car was a little bit free to drive, a little bit difficult to drive. What was it like on a green-white checker attempt to try to lock down this race?
Yeah, the car was definitely on edge, especially on older tires. You just carry, like without the restrictor plates, you carry so much speed and it just plows on entry, and then it's almost like the rear end just gets super slick on roll tires, and you're kind of driving it all basically like the 87 car. But yeah, I mean, old tires at the restarts, you're definitely spinning the tires through second gear, even sometimes when you go into shift into third gear, and you're pretty much looking in your mirror the entire time, so you don't build too big of a gap, so those guys behind you have a huge run.
We talked about SuperSpeedway racing being unpredictable as it is. You win this race, you lock yourself in to the playoffs coming up in a few races. We're halfway to that playoff cutoff. How big of a relief is that?
Well, that's huge, especially after the first or last, I think, 2 or 3 races that we did. I think I got wrecked in all those past 2 or 3 races, other than the first race that we had of the season. I think I finished 3rd there, so being able to lock myself into the chase there and just kind of ride my way to that, it's definitely a lot easier to think about.
This is the old Cup car. We used to see the Libra paint scheme on the DWC broadcast and a couple of the pro broadcasts. How cool was it to bring it back tonight?
Oh, it was fun. I mean, it's one of my favorite paint schemes. Being able to kind of drive it in DWC back then, even it was kind of tough to get it in there, but it's definitely a nice little throwback that I enjoy running.
Who do you got on the team? Who would you like to thank for tonight's effort?
Thanks to Chad Coleman for helping me out there on the last lap a little bit. I think we got 3 wide there on the last turn 3, turn 4, and he kind of stuck his nose up the center a little bit, and that helped me out. Same with Beasley and Falkingham as well. It was a fun race, so hope everyone had fun racing it and watching.
Mitchell Hunt is your winner. He gets locked into the playoffs for the Vidane SuperSpeedway Series here at Sim500. And speaking about Sim500, Paul, a familiar name to many Sim500 fans, Kevin Brown finishes in 2nd.
Kevin Brown came into the night 5th in points, big mover last week. He moved himself up 11 spots to get in that top 5 points. Another great points run here tonight with a podium finish, finishing 2nd for the number 93 team. Walk us through your race, Kevin.
Yeah. Definitely crazy race. We beginning there, I think it was the second caution we ended up taking the tires, and I think it was only like 3 or 4 of us that ended up taking tires there, and worked out in our favor. Got the lead, and it stayed green for a good 20-something laps, and couldn't really get it done at the end there. Was trying my best, but it was definitely fun.
We saw you up front for most of the race here tonight, Kevin, and man, we talked to a lot of different drivers throughout practice and the heat races, and had a couple of drivers even call the heat race, which was pretty cool, new for here at Vidane TV. But everybody was saying these cars are a lot to handle, heading 240 miles an hour down into the corners. Do you have any struggles here holding on to the race car?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Especially in the draft, you had to let off basically a lot. I was basically out the throttle most of the time, making the corner. Luckily, I saw there was a lot of people hitting the wall. Luckily, I stayed out of the wall, but it's definitely really tough to handle.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the your race car, the number 93, the purple and black machine. Doesn't look like there's too many logos on that 93 car, but who makes it happen for Kevin Brown? Who gets you to the track?
Yeah, we weren't able to make a paint scheme tonight, but Chris Caboose for always making a paint scheme. SIM500, you guys putting it on. My team down at Brown Eye. Yeah, appreciate it.
Kevin D. Brown started 30th, raced his way into the race with a heat race, and finished second here tonight. Going to be able to close in on Wes Hogue, the points leader. Great run here for Kevin Brown, the number 93 machine. Timmy, I think he caught up with Stephen Marinac, the P3, the last but not least fella over there on the podium finish.
Let's talk to Mr. Marinac, coming home position number 3. Let's chat about that green-white checker finish. Walk us through a couple of green-white checkers and what brought you to position number 3 near the end of it.
Yeah, I mean, we got a really good restart on that last one, and got a huge run down the backstretch and just got caught on that third lane. I think if we would have been too wide, we might have had a shot at it, but I had to check up a lot, to avoid hitting the wall, and just kind of fell back to third there. But I'm happy with it. We got a $5 payout, I think, but we're already in the playoffs and we're trying to win. So it was a little bit disappointing, but I'm pretty happy with the third.
We saw these cars look like a blast to drive from up here, but how fun were they behind the wheel, trying to stick handle these race cars around this racetrack?
Yeah, it was a ton of fun. This is definitely my favorite race of the year, especially on that long green flag run. It came down to like handling. The car was really tight, and you kind of had to back up the corners like you would on a mile and a half or something. And I had a ton of fun with it. I love this car and track combo.
We now have 4 different winners in 4 races, but we talked on that final restart about you trying to come up here and win this race and try to prevent maybe somebody else from winning a race before we head towards the playoffs. You mentioned how important winning is, but how important is winning to try to maybe block somebody else that might be a threat in the playoffs to prevent them from getting there?
Yeah, that's definitely important. I just want to win as much as I can because there's really nothing to lose at this point for me. And then, once you get in the playoffs, it'll become even more important.
Who do you got helping you out? Who makes it happen for you to get to the virtual racetrack?
I just want to thank Joey Gattina and everyone else for putting this on, and you guys for doing the broadcast.
There you go. There's our third place finisher, Stefan Marinac. And Paul, let's talk about this race. Pretty exciting. Mitchell Hunt coming home with a victory, and we'll move on to next week, one more week before the Christmas break.
One more week before the Christmas break, and man, oh man, is it going to be exciting. Really looking forward to that. But Tim, we got action before that. Taking a look right now at the upcoming events, what's on tap here at Vidane TV. You can see it right there. May or may not have the East Coast Winter League jump on tomorrow night. They're still looking for a race sponsor, so any interest in sponsoring them, check them out, East Coast Winter League on Facebook. And then the Tim's Corner Weekly Deal at Oxford, still looking for a sponsor for that race as well, but that's going to be 75 laps at Oxford Plains on Wednesday. And the newcomers, the new guys on the block, Showtime Cup Series coming in for race number 6 at 9:15 Eastern Time on Wednesday as well. Thursday the 17th, Eastbound Esports, race number 3. A little exhibition race. We're going to be doing some stuff there with the Newfoundlanders, the guys up there, guys and gals up there living on the rock. Crash for Cash Promotions going to be doing a little bit of an enduro race, the Irwindale Insanity 200, Friday night at 9 o'clock, and then next Saturday night, right back here for the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series, race number 5. Going to be the final race in this series before the New Year's break, and you can see right there on the schedule, I've got a little bit of a New Year's bash here on Vidane TV. Going to do some racing, some enduro racing, some demolition derby, some football, some wrestling, some UFC fighting, but I'm going to do a lot of stuff here to entertain the folks watching on Vidane TV, but Tim, great race, great evening of racing, really. We had the first race, Chad Coleman winning the Tim's Corner Motorsports Super Speedway SummerSlam Part 2, and here we come, Talladega again. Mitchell Hunt wins race number 4 of the SIM500 Vidane SuperSpeedway Series.
Yeah, very entertaining night of racing, and looking forward to this next week that we have coming up with some short track racing, and going to see some Oxford, going to see some Nashville as well, and that's pretty much going to do it for us here this evening on Vidane TV. Want to congratulate Mitchell Hunt one more time on taking away the victory here. Chad Coleman a little bit earlier on, and keep tabs of Vidane.net and the Facebook page. Go over to Teespring and pick up a t-shirt or a sweatshirt or a mug or what have you for maybe your holiday gift to one other or yourself. And we will see you the next time we say Let's Go Racing here on Vidane TV. Until then, keep the hammer down. We'll see you at the track.